Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door, loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Good afternoon, maggots. Welcome back to the show. This is the Two Dum Yinzers. That's right, this is episode 971, and today we're here to talk some Pittsburgh sports. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Welcome back. Today is Memorial Day. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to the same place that you laughed about. Who'd have thought it lead ya? Who'd have thought it? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. That's right. This is the Two Dum Yinzers. This is episode 971, just 29 short shows away from the big 1,000, guys. We are getting there. We're getting there fast. We're getting there really fast, actually. Be here before we know it. We're going to be coming on the 5-year anniversary show and the 1,000 show mark. So very excited about that, guys. Welcome back. Got a lot to talk about today. Michael, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was a good weekend. Nice, relaxing. Didn't do a whole hell of a lot. So that's always a plus. I was counting down the minutes, the seconds, till we got to come back on here and talk some Steeler football.
Yeah, me too. I get a little nervous when I don't get to talk Steeler football for a certain period of time. And once you get to that second day off, I'm ready to go. And people say, why? Why are you doing it tomorrow? I mean, it's the holiday, the official start of summer, unofficial start of summer, if you will. Why are you getting together and doing this show on Memorial Day? I said, you know what? I just can't not do it. I can't. I won't. It's not going to happen, guys. And I'm not ever going to miss a chance to see my privates. That's right, everybody. Welcome to the board, my privates, everybody. Today, you are all my privates, and we're going to do some military type shit. I don't know what we're going to do, but I do want to say welcome back. I'm very excited. Mike, OTA is back at it tomorrow. Thursday, Friday will be this week 2, the second week of this 3-week program. Next week, they do 4 days to wrap it up, the whole entire 10 days. So there's a lot of things going on. I do want to say what's up to everybody on the Terrible Board. Guys, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome to the show. Glad to see everybody today. I want to see what's going on. I'm going to start here with my man, Robert Kirkpatrick, in the house. Always great seeing Robert. Robert says, hello, Yinzers. Hello, Robert. Always great seeing you, brother. Let's go to Vegas all the way. From Las Vegas. That's right. Vegas in the house. He says, what's good, fellas? My man, what's good with you? Hope all is well in Vegas. I'm sure it's hot. It just sounds hot. Las Vegas just sounds hot to me. But Sosh, on the other hand, Mike, he's on the other side of the world in Switzerland. Yes. He says, good day, all. It's from greetings from melting hot Switzerland, Mike. So who knows? Who knows? I was thinking it would be hot in Vegas, not in Switzerland, but here we are, Mike. It's hot in Switzerland. And probably hot in Vegas as well.
Probably hot as balls in Vegas. So I'm just glad I'm not in Vegas right now for the heat. But I wish I was in Switzerland with my buddy Sauce. I promise I am done yelling at Sauce for being late every day. And for the millionth time, I apologize.
And they're neutral in Switzerland. I don't know why you give people in Switzerland such a hard time, Mike. You were just one of these bastard drill sergeants you are. And
I'm just goddamn dictator over here on this show. You know me. It's my way or the goddamn highway.
Jamal, always great to see my man Jamal in the house. What's up, brother? Jamal says, gang, my G's, my brother, my friend, everything in between. I hope all is well for you today on this Memorial Day, sir, in Texas, here in the great United States of America. Welcome to you, Jamal. Hope things are going good for you. Let's go to Dude. Always great seeing Dude in the house. JD. I noticed some people were calling him on the board on Friday. JD. But he's still always going to be Dude to me. Mike, he's always going to be private Dude, in my opinion, at least today. What's up, Dude?
You and looking at Dude's privates. I don't know what's all going on with you today, brother.
Today, the theme of the show is privates. We're going to talk about privates all day today. Hope you're ready for that. Squeege says, here we go, Steelers. That's right, baby. Welcome back to the show, Squeege. Always great seeing you on this show. My man. Also, I do want to go right here to Forsaken. Yeah, baby. That's right. Forsaken. I love the name. Welcome to the Terrible Board. Welcome to the show. He says Jiper here. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Jiper, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Also want to go back to Vegas. He says, lighten up, Francis. I think I'm going to miss my call. Lighten up, Francis. Mike, on the ground and beat your face. Let's go here to Mark Malone. If we were really smart, that's what we would have did. We would have had Derpy come in with a jelly donut, and I would. Well,
we probably, would have had it planned, and Derpy would not have shown up.
Mike, I swear to you. You want me to tell you a secret? You want me to be completely honest with you, everybody? This was the plan. I said to myself over the weekend, I was like, let's get Derpy to come on and kind of be like the private pile from Full Metal Jacket. And let's do something like this, but I just can't rely on him. I apologize. I apologize to people that are tuning in. It could have been great, but at the end of the day, he's impossible to work with, Mike. I know I've said it 10 million times before, but he's this close with me. I would have loved to do something like that with him, but he's unworkable.
Yeah, he is
unworkable. Let's go here to Vegas. Vegas is 82, baby. Sosh says, yeah. That is, it's already warm out in Vegas because you figure out there it's probably like 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
So 82 already in Vegas. Let's go to Sosh. Sosh says, glad to hear you're done yelling at me. It's 86 in Switzerland. Jeez Louise.
I don't know. You're on thin ice, brother. Thin ice.
86 in Switzerland. Jeez. And what time of day is it there now? It's got to be nighttime, right? No, I don't know. Don't go by me. I don't know anything.
We're not only are we dumb Yinzers, we are also dumb Americans.
I don't know anything. I'm a dumb American. Let's continue down here to Sash. He says in freedom units, 30 in normal units. Tyrone, always great seeing you, my man. Oh my God, Tyrone, I was thinking about you over the weekend, dude, because again, when is this extension talk going to start with JPJ? It's got to be coming. It's hopefully, Mike, sometime sooner than later. As again, the Steelers, Mike, we're just. I don't know the damn. I don't have the math in my head, but we're finishing up May. Think about that. We're finishing up May, which is going to land us in June next week. Just think of that. because again, when you're in June, you say next month is camp. So you know what? We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Let's continue on the board. JPJ is the GOAT, and also Ty is the GOAT as well. Let's go to 3D Printing 68. He says, go Eagles, go Eagles. There you go. Let's drop down to Dude in the house. Dude says, was a cook in the Navy. That's awesome, man. You want to hear a funny story? You know, when you're in high school, they come and they try to recruit you. They come to your school and they linger and they hang out and they up and down the halls they go. I had this one Navy recruiter talk me into letting him come to my house for one of these visits, right, when I was a senior. Lucky for me, my dad was loaded. And when the guy, I remember his name was RT. His first initials were RT. And my dad was loaded. And the instructor comes in, and my dad starts calling him Artie, right? Because I don't know, because his initials were RT. And I thought at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm getting out of this. There's no way I'm going to be going to the military because my dad's walking around here loaded off his ass, calling the recruiter Artie. And you know what? Long story short, Mike, I did not go to the Navy.
I could tell.
Vegas says, Derpy, yeah, where's my privates at? Where the hell are my privates? I can never find my privates when I need them. I have the worst privates ever. They're useless. Useless privates. Mark Malone, he says, holy Jesus, what is that? Sasha says close to 7 o'clock p.m., but it is cooling down now. And that's when it usually gets the hottest in the house, is when the day starts cooling down outside. And it has like whatever the hell that effect is, but it stays hot in the house and it gets hot in the house and nuts outside starts to cool down.
Yeah, like F that. That's the worst time of the year.
Absolutely. But I do want to say what's up to my man Sash, all the way from Switzerland. Great seeing you, brother. Let's go to Vegas. He says he says this. But it's 86 degrees Celsius. See? Is that 86?
Yeah, it's Celsius. Yep.
Well, 86 degrees Celsius is like over 200 degrees, I think Fahrenheit, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I know that it's relatively higher. Let's go right here to John Anthony. What's up, John? Always great seeing John Anthony on a terrible board. He says, hey, gang, what's up, dude? What up? What up? Great seeing you, man. Let's go right here to Ty. Ty says, probably won't be till July. Shaking my head, training camp. It's all good, though, dude, because once we get into June, we say this. We say, hey, next month is camp. We'll take it. It's better than being in March, you know? Vegas, what's good, my friend? Always great seeing you. Mark Malone, the man, the myth, the legend, of course. Mark Malone says, I was saying on another pod that we've already made the moves to let JPJ in Washington walk.
My man is just I thought I could troll on Twitter. Mark Malone's taken to a whole new level. He's just going through every Steeler podcast and just trolling everyone.
It sure seems like it. Let's also get back to Sash. He says this is going to be it's going to be a hot night, though. It won't go below 72 all night from what I've heard. Keep that AC going, man. Vegas says, I don't know how any of that works. Tyrone says, diabolical, Mark. JPJ lives rent-free in your head. Who knows what the hell is living in Mark Malone's head, but there you go. Tyrone says 24 bag talk, go baby. JPJ and Mark Malone says, nah, just think ahead in regards to the Steelers. My man, always great seeing everybody today. Welcome back to the show, Mike. A few things before we do get started. The Buccos, they dropped the series to the Blue Jays over the weekend, 2-1. They did salvage it yesterday with a 4-1 victory to wrap up the series, Mike, before coming back home. That game put them back above 500 to 27-26. They come back home today to play the Chicago Cubs, Mike, to start off a 4-game set. This game is pretty big within the division. 4 games against the Cubbies. This is going to be a 1:35 start here in a little less than an hour. The Pirates are throwing out the first pitch in Pittsburgh. Back home for this series, Mike, game 1 of 4. One quick note about the Pittsburgh Pirates. O'Neal Cruz, yes, he does have the most hits on the Pittsburgh Pirates, Mike, but he also has the most strikeouts. Oh, maybe you don't understand what that means. O'Neal Cruz is on a pace. Mike, he's on the pace to strike out more than any baseball player in the history of Major League Baseball. With his last strikeout on Saturday afternoon, that put him right on course, Mike, to have more strikeouts than any player ever. And did I mention that he also has the most hits on the Pirates. So the Pirates, it's one extreme or the other.
Yeah.
You're either doing things like striking more guys out than since they did in 1906, or the total polar opposite. You're on line to have more strikeouts than any single baseball player in the history of baseball.
I love it because that is Bucko baseball. You will see, a stat. This hasn't happened since 1907. You're like, ooh, did we do something good? Because Paul Skeens' picture would be there, or do we do something bad and it'll be like an O'Neill Cruz or Big Stacks Brian Reynolds?
Right.
So that's Bucko baseball in a nutshell. And like, it's funny, like O'Neill Cruz is probably playing the best baseball of his life, and he's still on pace to do something that no one else has done for a bad thing in baseball. That's O'Neill Cruz actually personifies Pittsburgh Pirates baseball, if you think about it. Because when we do well, there's always something that's holding us back. Right now, we're kind of playing well as a team. The rest of the league is really, really good. O'Neill Cruz is the Pittsburgh Pirates personified.
And the thing about the Pirates, Mike, we have the strongest division in the league. Again, no team in our division is below 500. Okay. Now, keep that in mind as I make this next comment. We are 5-1 in series against teams in our division, and we stink against everybody else. So that's where I'm going to leave the Pirates.
Everyone else sucks.
This is where I'm going to leave the Pirates talk. Let's move on. Pittsburgh Passion back at it. Of course, our ladies. These were Franco's ladies. Of course, this was these were his girls before he passed away. Franco Harris, Mike. The Pittsburgh Passion, the number one team in the country, back at it in Cincinnati over the weekend, and it shows they bring their effort and they win 42-0 over the Cincinnati Cougars. Mike, in Cincy, the Pittsburgh Passion improved to 3-0. They'll be coming back home next week to play Tampa Bay. Looking good, Mike. Pittsburgh Passion, another win. No surprise, 42-0 over Cincinnati.
It's what the ladies do. They kick ass, they take names.
It sure is, baby. Well, yeah.
They're the best football team in town.
They are the best football team in town. Mike, they did advance in the playoffs much sooner, closer than the Steelers have. So do what you want with that.
We should have changed your bet to the Riverhounds and the Passion, don't we?
I know.
If they don't make it to the playoffs, you have to shave your beard and your pubes.
Well, let's go right here to Mike. Also, the Riveters. The Riveters were in action, of course, are women's soccer players. All the women's teams, Mike, the football teams, American football, soccer, whatever you want to call that. The Pittsburgh Riveters back in action as well, Mike. They've played to a 3-3 draw with Flower City. They're back at it on Thursday. They will be playing Steel City at 6 o'clock on Thursday.
Our goalie scored the game-winning or game-tying goal. That shit was awesome. It's you usually pull your goalie in hockey. And when you do it in soccer, I think it's more dangerous because the net's so much bigger, and you can just launch that ball from midfield or from your own goal line, and you probably going to score 99% of the time. So it's a risky endeavor, and they pulled that shit off. I'm sitting there watching that final play, the replay of it. It was nuts.
Gotta like the ladies. Gotta love the ladies, guys, doing their job this weekend for both football teams here in the Berg. Great job, both teams, guys. Also, talking about football, the UFL, Mike, they complete week 9. Just 1 week left in the UFL football season. As on Friday night, Orlando beats DC 27-19. Saturday, Columbus 36, Birmingham 29. Mike, the Louisville football team, they win 37-23 over the Renegades, and then also the St. Louis Battlehawks over the Gamblers 21-15. Mike, that is week 9. Just 1 more week left in the UFL, and then it'll be a week of playoffs. 2 teams from each conference going in a Final Four, and then after that is the championship game in the UFL. So just a few more weeks till the UFL will be done, and that is just another indicator, Mike, that we're getting that much closer to the NFL season as these spring leagues start to wrap it up. Again, Mike, week 10 already in the UFL, and again, the ladies, they're already halfway through their season. So after this, you know what the next football is on the on the list. So,
it's big boy football coming up.
Again, of course, OTAs back up tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. And then again next week for 4 days. So that is all coming up, those last 7 days of OTAs in this particular program. Like, everybody's in town. Everybody's excited. The vibe is good in Pittsburgh. A lot of good talk coming out of Steeler headquarters, a lot of good word, and we're going to get into a lot of that and so much more today. Let's get back on the board and try to keep caught up. It's my main goal for today. Let me go right here to see what Sauce is up to. Sauce says we probably won't be able to sign all of our young stars. If you had to let one guy walk of these three, who would it be? JPJ, Frazier, Herbig. JPJ, Frazier, and Herbig. Hey, when you put it like that, can I say Benton? Mike, I'll let you take that first.
Herbig. I think JPJ, cornerback, is the most important position on defense. If you can shut down the team's number one, you can do a lot of things. Frazier is, a center. I think he's one of the most valuable pieces on that offensive line. He's a steady influence on there. And Herbig's replaceable. It sucks to see him go, but he would be the easiest one to replace. So let me rephrase it. Not that he's replaceable, but the production, I think, would be easier to replace Herbig than it would be for JPJ and Frazier, because those two guys are ready to be all pros, not just pro bowlers, but all pros. Herbig, he's great dynamic player when he's in there, but can he be an every down player? We've seen it from the other two. We haven't seen it from him. So right now, he'd be the one to go. I don't want any of them to go. But in this argument right here, Herbig would be the one to go. And I think you can find edge rushers more than you can find elite corners and elite safeties.
Can I go with Benton?
Yeah, right. That's where I want to go too, brother.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to play this game anymore.
But shit, man, you really, realistically, it's easier to keep Benton, Washington in two of the big three.
Yeah,
and that's the sad part. This is what happens when you got to keep Cam Hayward and TJ Watt around.
That's exactly what this is.
You can't really is.
I mean, you have to bank on. You have to have younger players that are going to be the next man up, and now I have to pay the old man all this money to keep just the. What a frustrating situation. What a frustrating situation, because you have a very able body, matter of fact, who outproduced the old man who's making all this money at the end of the day. So again, Mike, I guess Herbig, but it wouldn't be what I want to do. It's because you're making me make a choice at that point. I guess it would be Herbig.
Herbig would be the one to go, and it sucks to think this way, but thinking from their front office, you can generate pressure in a bunch of different ways. And you don't have to be elite to get home to do it. And so by that note token, we got, already have Jack Sawyer. You can find someone else next year in the draft. And then if Herbig goes, he's going to get big money somewhere else. And guess what? That guarantees you. That guarantees you a third-round comp pick. So you're like, okay, I can get in. That's where we drafted him in the third round. Okay, we're getting his value back again. So we're able to keep other players. It's going to be part of their thought process.
Yeah, let me move on. That question hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
it brought down the morale of the troops. If you will,
it did too. I thought I was done yelling at Sosh.
Yeah, Sosh, you're working your way back to the list.
He's on the fringe of the enemy list right now.
Let's go here to Tyrone. Tyrone says Mark also said Samuel and Everett can replace JPJ. Talk some sense into him, Mark.
Tyrone, I don't know if there's any chance of talking sense into Mark Mullen. All the Krylons up in his brain.
With all due respect, though, of course.
With all due respect, yes.
Let's go.
That goes without saying, but no, those two cannot replace JPJ.
Well, let's go right here to Vegas. Vegas is 86 degrees Celsius is 186.8 Fahrenheit. Gotcha. I knew it was somewhere right around 200. I wasn't quite sure where because, again, I'm not very smart. Let's continue on right here to Tyrone. He says, Sass Herbig. Easy. Tyrone does agree with you on that one, Mike. Vegas says, yikes. Also, Tater, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Tater, even when I'm not in the mood. Always great to see Tater from Northern Ireland, the resident Browns fan. Welcome to the terrible board, Tater. Let's go right here. John Anthony, my man, always great seeing John Anthony back on the board. He says this. He says, why is it so easy for the media to get fans all riled up? The Steelers have always worked one way. I've been saying Howard was their number two. Press makes BS up, and get the dummies every time. Absolutely. Pittsburgh media is something. It's a beast like you've never seen before. It truly is. The way they make things up, it's truly fascinating for such a small market town. It really is, Mike. They do things that I've seen in big cities that just doesn't work here. And again, a lot of people complain, and you hear this from folks about our media here in Pittsburgh.
Because God forbid they actually, do anything factually,
Right.
or they all want to be hot take merchants.
Right.
You're the media. You're not supposed to be hot take merchants. You're
right.
You can have your opinion.
There's one, and then
there's
the
reality.
other.
Yeah.
There's one, and then there's the other.
Yeah, and then you call them out on something. Well, hey, I'm just a reporter. I'm just a journalist.
Right.
And then okay, and then they go, "Oh, I'm not a reporter. I'm not a journalist." Like, wait, I called you out on this, and you fell back on that card. Then you fall back on this card. Like, no, they all want to be right. They all want to, and they all want to have the highest engagement. I get it. That's the name of the game. But your actual media, you're supposed to be reporting to us. Then you want to bitch when players aren't truthful and honest with you. Like, no wonder they don't trust you.
They try wearing two hats, Mike. They try to wear two hats, and and the thing is, you have two entities. And again, I think that's what the problem is, because it is such a small market. They're trying to do this, and it looks stupid. And again, I think you're starting to feel that, Mike. You're starting to see people that regularly tune into these shows. Of course, you're always going to have your diehards, people that are going to just listen because that they're locked and loaded and whatever. I can respect that. But at the end of the day, you get so much feedback now about the media, the Pittsburgh sports media anymore. It's kind of embarrassing. Let me continue on the board, though. Tyrone says, hi, Tater, and the Cleveland Clowns. Let's go here to Tortilla. Tortilla, my man, all the way from Sacramento, California. Tortilla Jackson, great to see you, my friend. He says the Sloppenheimer is here. Let's go to Tyrone. Tortilla's the GOAT, he's saying. Guys showing some camaraderie early. People ain't at each other's throats today. It's Memorial Day. Let's have a little bit of fun, guys, right? Let's go here to Tyrone. Tyrone says, listen up, Mark. Mark Malone says, Howard is getting his chance. He will be able to overtake. Will he be able to overtake Magnum? Question mark. I think eventually he should. Listen, here's my opinion at this point. I'm like, and I know this is not going to be popular, but at the end of the day, Mason's ran his course, in my opinion. I think if anybody got to go, he got to go. Yeah. I know people want him around. They like him as he's a safe backup. But at this point, you're looking at the future of this team. You're looking at these youthful quarterbacks. You're looking at a sophomore. You're looking at a rookie. I want to see these guys playing football. The fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, Mason proved that he wasn't going to be anything more than a backup here. He went elsewhere briefly. This has been his career. At the end of the day, take minimum money or get it. I think the Mason has to be the odd man out at the end of the day, Mike. People are going to say, well, he's the one that's going to be able to step in. But at the end of the day, don't you want these younger guys to be the guys that eventually step in and do that job? Yeah. This is a perfect opportunity, as I said, before the offseason, Mike, or after we find out about Coach T, of course. I said, this is the perfect opportunity to make all those changes that you think about in the back of your head. Yeah. Now might be the time. Let's turn the page. Let's make this Mike McCarthy's boat. And like I said, I don't know. My opinion, I think Mason Rudolph's got to be gone. At the end of the day, Mike, I don't think he holds much value on this team anymore. He comes in last year in a game, and again, he loses in a game that he steps in. We could have done that with a rookie. We could have had our rookie come in and lose a game. So at the end of the day, get these kids their experience, get them on the field, get them their reps, because at the end of the day, that's the future of this team. It's not Mason. He's done his time. Yeah. Again, stay here for pennies, or we're going to have to move on, Mike. I understand they love the idea of these four quarterbacks, but at the end of the day, I just think at what point do you take a step forward as the Pittsburgh Steelers? I think right now is the most opportunistic time with the great change that is going on, that is the coaching staff, yada, yada, yada. So I'm ready for Mason to hit the road.
If he stays, I get why they would do it. If he goes, I understand that argument too. Is my biggest fear is if they want to move on from Mason, will the owner allow it? Because hey, I trust him more than I trust two guys who haven't played it down in the NFL, and I want to keep winning games. I want to remain competitive. Will he come in and be like that Al Davis, Jerry Jones type owner of, I'm putting my foot down, you're not going to make this move? Or is he going to be the type of owner say, hey, this is what I prefer, but I hired you men for a reason, and I'm going to let you go do the job. If they say, and if he's that type of owner this year, or hey, go do what you want to do, what I'm paying you to do, and I trust you to do, then I think that Will Howard will be that number two quarterback. If if Mason Rudolph's on this roster and Will Howard is not, or they keep all four, I feel like that's the point where Art Rooney stepped in and made them force that decision. Because you can say you want to keep all four. What coach right now is going to say, oh, no, we're only keeping three. This guy sucks. Or right now it's too early to start making that determination. You want to give everything's new, everything's on a brain clean slate. Like Mike McCarthy
I
said,
come out, Mike, and I say this. I say I'm only going to keep 3 years. Fight your asses off and let me see who the best 3 quarterbacks are. That's the way I handle it. But
or did he do it in the background? But it's like, hey, it's going to be a competition, but I'm selling it to the media as I want to keep all 4 of you.
Why would you do that? What do you gain by doing that? Let me ask. I mean, I understand that's the process a lot of times.
It's like if he tells to all of them, like it's an open competition, but I don't want to hear a word of that to the media. And then
what's the difference?
One of them comes out there and says, like, "Oh, we keep 3." As a coach, like, can I trust you with information then? To maybe something like that. I don't know. I'm just falling here, but it's probably is just it's Will Howard's job to lose at this point, probably.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
I would agree. And I'm hearing great things about Will. Like I'm seeing Will Howard wired the right way. This was being said in the first week of OTAs. The Steelers believe Will Howard wired the right way. Steelers believe that is showing at OTAs. And also, Mike, I'm reading Drew Aller was all over the place with his throws. So at the end of the day, last week they were talking about how Drew Aller has the upper hand because he has a strong arm, and Will Howard is this. So again, you're buying into the Kool-Aid. It's going to be listen. This is going to go on forever if you let it. I refuse to continue to keep giving this life because at the end of the day, Mike, I want to see both of these guys playing on the field in July at the end in August going into into preseason. Mike, this is the only time it's going to matter. Yeah. Until then, it's just going to be a bunch of this, and a bunch of this over here, and a bunch of this telling me why this ain't going to work, and a bunch of this why people telling me why it is going to work.
Yeah,
it's BS, guys. The only way we're going to know is wait till August. These 2 guys are going to get all the snaps in preseason. I promise you. Aaron Rodgers is going to get minimum. In my opinion, yes, different coach. Again, I just don't think he's going to get that many snaps in preseason. And you know what? Again, why does it even matter if Mason Rudolph gets snaps at the end of the day, Mike? These 2 guys are going to get mad snaps. It's going to be all about those 2. Again, right now is not the time to do this because, again, you don't know. We have to see them on the field because it's all over the place with both of these quarterbacks right now.
Yeah, and what people need to realize is, like, we knew coming in Drew Aller. Like they even said, we're tearing him down and we're going to rebuild him back up. So he's going to look god awful for most of this year, like behind the scenes and all that stuff, because they're tearing him down and they want to rebuild him in their image of how they want the quarterback to be. So there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. We knew coming out of Ohio State, Will Howard was more polished out of the 2. We know his arm strength isn't that great, but we know like if the scouting reports are correct, if you put him in an offense to where it's just read, react, anticipate, get out, which is kind of what he did at Ohio State, he can succeed. So right now, Will Howard should look a little bit more polished, and Drew Aller should look like that. So how reporters are trying to hype this up as one's more ready than the other, and the other looks lost and confused. Like, yeah, if you're just reading what's going out there, that's where they should be right now. That's the developmental plan where they should be. And I would be more worried if Mason Rudolph looks lost and confused than the other 2 look a little sloppier. It's just a lot of dumb takes coming from the media right now.
I couldn't agree more.
A lot of dumb takes. That's my job.
Yes.
It says it right here.
Isaiah O'Kelly, I want to say welcome. Isaiah. I do want to say welcome to the show. He says, I am totally delusional. My Raiders suck. He said, your Steelers are going to go to the Super Bowl this year. Super Bowl bound, baby.
Thank you, Isaiah.
Thank you, Isaiah, to the board. Great to have you. Love your input. We'll make sure we put that on the website and keep your memory alive. Let's go here to Tortilla. He says this, we move Benton back to defensive end. I don't mind giving him a cheaper deal. Benton and Hayward could both walk next year. Let's go here to the thing is, as far as Hayward, how much longer could the guy possibly have?
I know, right? Like my big worry, like it's a double-edged sword. I want him to play well because that's going to mean the team is going to do well. But I don't want him to play well enough to where he wants to come back and we have to give him another decent contract. because that can free up $20-some million by him going away.
I see Tater talking all this trash, and I'm not even going to jump down. I usually like to jump on it so I could shit on him a little bit. I'm not in the mood. Because it's just the same thing every day. He doesn't get it, so I apologize, Tater. I would love to get you, but it's just the same thing every day with you. We are closer to a Super Bowl than you are by far. And again, at the end of the day, you still continue to say otherwise. And just like last year, Mike, when they told us we would finish down by the Browns, and where did we go? Where did we go? To the playoffs. Let's move forward. I'm going to go right here to Tyrone. Tyrone says this, we reconstruct Muth. Yes, we did, guys. This is actually happening, Mike. I read this. Where did I read this? Pat Freiermuth. Steelers and Muth, Mike, they're agreeing to or working on restructuring his contract. This is happening on Saturday. His cap hit for 2026 will decrease, Mike, from its current $11.2 million. So there's things that are working, things that are, whether this has to do with working with somebody else, getting their contract figured out, Mike, that is what was going down over the weekend. So Pat Freiermuth with some reconstruction on his contract. Do you have any information on that?
Yeah, I think the bulk of it is just going to be turned into a signing bonus, and that will free up that cap space, because right now, after signing A-Rod, we're 31st in cap space with $3.1 million. So that's going to free up a bunch of money, because if they want to extend and add some money to this year onto the guys that they're extending, they'll need that type of room there. It also helps too for a carryover cap space to next year, which goes into the next year's salary cap equations and shit like that. So it's a lot of bookkeeping for next year, and for getting ready to potentially extend some of these young guys coming in on the final year of their contract. And I think someone else mentioned up, and there's probably going to be other players that we can finagle their contract around, restructure to free up even more cap space. So we'll look for those moves to happen between now and training camp, because the Steelers, they like to get those contracts done before training camp starts. Definitely before training camp starts, but definitely before training camp ends. They like to have all their extensions wrapped up. So right now it's clear in space.
Mark Malone is saying this. It looks like Benton may be the only one we extend. Mark.
He's turned into an epic troll.
He is. I love it. Let's go down here to Sosh. Sosh says this. He says, I mean, realistically, you probably won't be able to keep all three I mentioned earlier. It would be the godsend if DJ does decide to retire after this season. I don't think he's going to retire, but I mean, that's the only way to keep all three, I believe. And at the end of the day, this is look at how that's going to play out, Mike. You're going to pay him for the rest of his time. He's going to eventually, he's going to decline. Because again, he's getting older. His numbers the past two seasons have certainly gone down. Excuse me. And at the end of the day, you're going to let good players go because you can't afford to pay them, because you're giving this guy who's aging and his play is dropping the money that you're giving him. This hurts the team. Again, hopefully, Mike, hopefully the Steelers get a little bit of sense and try to figure out how to avoid this to some capacity, Mike, because again, at the end of the day, if TJ Watt doesn't go out there and help win 5 games this year, Mike, due to him exclusively and punching that ball out, and he needs to do all those things that he does. Why we pay him the money? People say, well, he deserves it because he changes games. He deserves it because he could dictate the way a game goes. Mike, he's got to do those things. You can't just go on your past when you were making that money, because again, the team could be improving in other areas. But if you're just going to go on the guy's past and he doesn't continue to have those kind of numbers, that kind of performance, this is where you start to get screwed. So again, at the end of the day, Mike, either he has to play his balls off and get the production and the numbers and the results that he's got in his highest times. If not, I don't think he's worth it anymore, Mike. He's not worth it, because Herbig, again, has more sacks than TJ Watt last year. He makes a fraction of what he makes at this point. So, again, at the end of the day, the next natural step would be to move on from TJ Watt, I would think. Let's see if the Steelers start handling things the right way. Maybe just a new system in place. Maybe, who knows? Mike, they have to start handling this situation better.
They have to, because now you're not in salary cap hell, but you're in player personnel hell because of the salary cap. You know what I mean? Like there's money to sign people, but not not everyone that you want to. And like I say, Omar Khan does structure contracts to where you can usually get out of them with a year or two. Like the hardest one is TJ Watts, just because there is so much money involved. You really, that one's kind of the hardest one to get out of. But everyone that he has signed in free agency, all their contracts you can get out of them. You more or less, they're like a year contract, and then that second year, like you cut them, you're recouping half of their salary cap. Because I like Dean's going to be a topic coming up. If they cut him next year, his base salary is 16 million. If you cut him, you get 8 million back. So you're getting half that money back. So there's contracts that can come and go, players come and go to make it to where you can keep Watt and some of these younger players, but it becomes more and more difficult to keep a fully competitive team.
Absolutely. It's not an easy business. If it was, you know what I mean? Everybody would be winning. And the fact of the matter is, running a football team is a hard thing to do, Mike. It's again, especially at this level, and there's no easy moves at the end of the day. You seem like you had another thought. Go ahead.
That's why, like, if you extend Porter and you give Everett a decent amount of playing time, if he proves that he can be a player that can take over a starting role next year, then you can cut Jamal Dean and then you have Everett, or you can keep Jamal Dean, have Everett, and you don't have to re-sign someone like Asante Samuel who's only on a 1-year deal. So the moves that they are making are corresponding moves going on with like the salary cap situations and contract situations, but they got to find ways to keep the really good young stars.
That's
and then hope that the draft picks
from
this year can
because it's logical. Because it makes sense. Because that's how you're supposed to do it. That's why.
Then you have someone like Everett who hopefully can take a spot from one of the stopgap guys in Asante Samuel or Jamal Dean. This is like all those little moves that hopefully, if they all work out right, you can keep an aging Watt if he's still making those plays and you design plays for him. It's justifiable. But now if you're starting to miss on draft picks, guys, want more money than you have available because of these older contracts for a Watt, a Highsmith, a Cam Hayward, then you're really fucked because now you let nostalgia poison the future.
I want a toilet so clean I can make a sandwich on it. Let's go right here. Private, you look like a can of biscuits that just popped open. You're about as sharp as a leading edge on a bowling ball, Private. Let's get back to it. Let's go right here. That was, sorry, I don't know what that is. I'm having flashbacks, apparently, from back in the war, Mike. War flashbacks. You got to watch out. Better be careful today. That's all I got to say. Let's continue on. Let's go to the board right here. Tyrone says this. Mark, a funny guy, guys. Tortilla says, all I care about is re-signing JPJ and Darnell. It's harder to replace them than back. And you know what? The thing about this damn Darnell Washington, let me tell you this. This guy's a monster. People would love to have Darnell Washington. He has to be the biggest listen, of course, we got more weapons now on offense. You bring in a couple of wide receivers. You draft one. You get one via free agency. You have to use Darnell Washington like nobody's business. Figure out a way to use him because, again, at the end of the day, Mike, people try to figure out how to stop Travis Kelce for year after year. People want to figure out how to try to stop Mark Gronkowski. If you're putting so much focus and time on your defensive preparedness to stop a big 6 foot, whatever he is, 330 some pounds, Mike, that's just so much more beneficial to your offense. You're going to be able to utilize your DK Metcalfs. You're going to be able to utilize your Michael Pittman Jr.'s, your Jeremy Bernards, everybody else. I want to see Washington involved in such a way where he becomes a problem. He's a problem for other teams. Just like when you're taking on the Kansas City Chiefs and Travis Kelce's a problem. If you don't handle him, he's going to kill you. I want that to be what Darnell Washington does, Mike. If they don't take the extra effort to make sure that he is totally contained, then I want him to kill you because he's bigger than everybody. He's just bigger. We've seen him, people bouncing off of him like the Super Mario Brothers. Mike, I want him to be so involved in this offense where people are scratching their head at the end of the day. How do we figure out how to stop this offense? They have these weapons. They have this beast. Mike, this team has a really good opportunity to become something special if they utilize it right. And again, I'm not bad-mouthing anything about Mike Tomlin. I'm just saying, under the new coach, I hope we start to see some of these changes that we all kind of been craving for the past X amount of years to make this team better. And again, I think getting Darnell Washington involved as much as possible is one of the best ideas you could possibly have.
Oh yeah, like we saw it in small sample sizes the past 2 years, 2 3 years, or but definitely the last 2 years, how he was getting worked into the offense more and more. It opens up things for everyone else. The dude is a cheat code. He's more or less more or less a guaranteed first down
Like
every
he's
time
a
you
guy
throw the
that you
ball.
build on Madden and play with for fun
Yeah,
because he's unreal. You just run
yeah,
everybody over. You know what I mean? He is that
yeah,
freak. You
and
got to use the
yeah,
freak. You
and
got to use your freak.
he's that tight end that you can do those little delay routes with, where he acts like he's blocking, and then he does a little flare to the side. It goes up, runs 3 yards, stops, turns around, catches the ball. Everyone's pulled back on coverage. He has all that room to run. And he's, like you said, going to bounce off guys. He's going to drag guys, for that first down, for extra yardage. Like before we came on the show today, I was watching some of his highlights, and he's just guys on him. He's making the catch. Guys not around him. He's gaining yards. He has this long stride where he's gaining 3 yards per step. It feels like, and he's always falling forward. He's always dragging guys with him. He's jumping over people. He's got to be, I don't say the focal point, but you got to target him early and often to where teams have to think about him. Because then, like you said,
He's got to be a problem.
that's going to open up Jeremy in the middle. That's going to open up Pat Fryermuth even more. And that's going to open up your two big body guys on the outside. We have such big targets. And a lot of these DBs aren't able to take these guys down one-on-one. And it's going to create mismatches everywhere. That's going to free someone else up. And we saw it, 2 years ago? Russell Wilson for like 4 games in a row. First pass play was a 4-yard out to Darnell that would go for 10 yards, 11 yards, 12 yards, jumpstart the offense. Then all of a sudden, Arthur Smith stopped doing that. But that shows you what kind of weapon he can be early in a game. Free yards, free first downs early in the game to get your offense rolling. He needs to be one of the main cogs of it.
I agree. I agree. Like he's got to be a huge. Listen, if he's not a huge part of this offense, shame on Art Angelo Felicio. Shame on Coach McCarthy. Mike, you have a freak. And again, maybe it's like it's pervasive, and they're walking in and they're seeing this beautiful monster that you could just use, and opposed to where Tomlin was kind of there through the process. They kind of watched him as he came in as a rookie, and now maybe McCarthy could kind of take him as this whole new, I got a monster, let me put this thing to work and see what we got. Again, use this guy, your offense is going to be successful. Nobody wants to tackle this guy. At the end of the day, Mike, we've seen it last year, and especially you're playing games against teams that don't have a chance. Let me say, okay, so he's going to come in handy in big games against big teams, but there's going to be teams that don't want to play a guy like this on Sunday. It's getting cold, whatever, and I have to tackle a 350-pound guy. It's
Right?
bullshit. At the end of the day, Mike. So again, it's only beneficial to get him as involved in as much as you can. And again, decoy him, use him down around the goal line, use him in situations where you got to be able to use this guy. And again, if used right, Mike, he could be a superstar in this league, because again, I don't know anybody else in the league that takes this kind of effort to tackle. I don't.
Maybe Derrick Henry. And he has a full head of steam by the time he gets the ball. Darnell's catching in on stop and then going. But it's crazy how you're just saying, like, use him down the goal line. One of the highlights I saw was against Cincinnati. The play, it was like a play action to the right-hand side. Everyone flows that way. Darnell acted like he was going to block, took 2 steps into the end zone, turn around, boom, presented the target. A-Rod had it there, dead on the money, no one around him. Simple little plays like that. You can do a lot with him because of his versatility. You don't know if he's going to stay in line and run block, pass block, and you don't know if he's going to go out in formation. So use a lot of designed, plays where, like, he's going to block, and then he wiggles out. A-Rod hits him because everything's cleared out. Next thing you know, you've gained a shit ton of yardage, and then boom, that's going to reset the offense because you're going to get a first down out of it, or you're going to confuse the defense. Now they like, oh shit, we got to start game playing for this. That can open up Patty Fry, Jeremy, the 2 guys on the outside. He doesn't have to be a focal point, but you start using him correctly, teams will start game playing for him more and more, and that's going to open up other people.
Let's get back to the board. I'm going to go right here to don't reconstruct TJ or DK. We don't need to raise there. Steel Loyal. What's up, dude? Always great seeing Steel Loyal all the way from North Carolina. Imagine it's pretty hot down your way. Steel Loyal says Mark is just a dilly-dallier. We love him. We do love our dilly dallyer. Let's go here to Ty. Ty says this. He says Omar Khan. Omar does have some decisions this year. JPJ, Darnell, Herbig, Benton, then the future Frazier, Troy, McCormick, of course. I just want to talk a real. You know what? Let me continue on the board for a couple. I keep getting caught up at this pace, Mike. We'll be here till about 3:30 tomorrow afternoon. So let me continue here on the board for just a few moments. Let's go to Mark Malone. He says Dean Everett and the Asante Samuel Jr. are going to be our outside guys of the future. Let's go Steel Loyal. Steel Loyal says this, Mark, I want to be your outside guy of the future. I want to be your outside guy of the future. I'm not sure what's going on the terrible board today, but it sounds terrible. I'll continue on right here. Tortilla says Dean is going to be 31 in the future. No. Mark Malone, he'll be the starter for 2 years. Guys, what about this name? Talking, of course, about all these cornerbacks. Mike, is Darnell Savage, is he going to be a Steeler when it's all said and done? I mean, here we are. We're halfway through OTAs at the end of May. Darnell Savage, at this point, I say we just kind of let this bird fly. And again, if he's having this much trouble passing, whatever his issue is, passing, physical exams, whatever it is, I just don't know if this guy's going to be worth having on the squad at this point, Mike. Darnell Savage.
Yeah, at this point, if you're just waiting for him to get medically cleared, let him go. But if you know he's been medically cleared and you know you have a contract waiting for him, but you're like, hey, Darnell, wait, we want to get everyone else signed, then we'll bring you in. Maybe do something like that. But no, if it's because of a medical thing, let him go. Let him go. There's a lot of other safeties out there you can be talking to.
Absolutely, Mike. And look at all, and the thing is, I love a guy like Corey Trice, but look how much you pass and let pass as you continue to wait on these guys. And all these waiting games we've been playing over the past 3, 4, 5 seasons, they're not really yielding into much, Mike. And again, at the end of the day, if Corey Trice was able to get healthy, step in and become a part of this defense, it would have been one thing. The fact of the matter was he got healthy a little bit. He came and he had an interception. We were happy about it. And then he was back out the injury, never to play again. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think, Mike, that it might be time to Darnell Savage just kind of gets cut down, sent down the road. I like the name. Who doesn't like a defensive player named Savage? But at the end of the day, Mike, we could be doing other things with this. And again, I don't know how promising does he look, even if he comes healthy at this point, Mike. I don't know. Do you know much about Darnell?
I don't know much about Darnell at all, other than that he's hurt.
Yeah.
We haven't had a chance to see him play here.
Yeah, and that's when the only thing that you know about a guy is that he gets hurt. Usually not a good sign. Let's go continue on right here where Tyrone says Samuel gone after this year. Laugh my ass off. They'll re-sign Asante Samuel Jr. is what Mark is saying. Let's continue down here on the terrible board. Again, welcome. This is the Memorial Day special, guys. Welcome to the show. I want to say happy unofficial start to summer. I know some places, Mike, they open their swimming pools on Memorial Day, all that kind of fun stuff, campgrounds, everything starts this weekend. So I'm glad to see everybody. I hope everybody had a great weekend, maybe rounding out their 3-day weekend today with us. So we're happy to see you guys. Welcome to the show again, episode 971 of the Two Dum Yinzers. Let's get back on the board. Tyrone says Dean will be with us a maximum 2 seasons. Let's go here to Ty Follows. Where am I going? Okay, right here. He follows it up by saying Samuel gone after this year. Laughed my ass off. Mark Malone, they'll re-sign ASJ. Tortilla, he says this: if he stays the 3rd year, I'm all about it, but he won't be our cornerback 1. He'll be cornerback 2 or cornerback 3 by then. Tyrone says, that was Tortilla. Tyrone says JPJ, Dean, Everett will be next year's starters. Mark Malone says JPJ will be starting elsewhere. Mark Malone always keeping it hot on the terrible board. Tyrone, he says this Tortilla, he's not even 1 this year, he's 2. Tortilla says exactly. Robert Kirkpatrick says Dean is the only one on the 1-year contract. Jamel Dean, I can't wait to see him play either, Mike. All the things that I'm reading, I'm very excited to see him on the field as well. Numbers right up there with JPJ when it's all said and done. So again, I think that the secondary is looking good. Stopping that run, that's still going to be my concern. But again, different schemes. I'm for a few things I'm seeing here. Vince Williams, another former player that comes out and calls out Coach T over the weekend, Mike, saying that now Patrick Graham has to, he inherits the wreckage that Mike Tomlin left behind. And every day goes on, you seem to find another and another former Steeler defensive player coming up with similar comments. I mean, everyone loves Coach, which I don't disagree with. I think he's a great guy, and I'd hang out with him too. But at the end of the day, Mike, the coaches, even Vince Williams as of late, comes out with these comments. So more and more former Steelers coming out with these words. So very interested, Mike, to see if Patrick Graham and company in the new defense is able to do things that the old team was not able to do.
I just find it funny that like all these former players are saying it now that Tomlin's no longer the coach. Like,
that's the way you do it, actually.
Like, why weren't you saying it when he was the coach? Calling out when he's here. Like, I just find stuff like that funny about those guys.
Do you think that Vince Williams is just making this up and is just talking?
No, he's probably not making it up. Like, he played there, he played for him and played under that system and had a pretty good career under that system. It's just funny waiting till the coach is gone and then now you start talking about it. Like,
I think
why were you calling this out like when it was here, when we were seeing it, when bringing it to people's attention?
I don't know. That's beside the point. The point
is funny to me.
Again, I don't even know if this is a topic of conversation. I just know that, listen, I know the players just keep continuing telling us why we were having problems on defense communication. I'm sure that we probably didn't make that up as well either. But some of these things that keep coming out, Mike, I hope they get fixed with Patrick Graham and the new defense because they need to be fixed. Certainly as the team has gotten stale and as teams continued to talk about how stale we were year after year after year as they were teams that beat us year after year after year. So, I mean, come on. I think the proof is in the pudding at the end of the day. I'm not going to go pointing fingers or using this or that. I'm just saying I'm ready for the new system. I'm ready for the new defensive coordinator. I'm ready for the new coach. I'm ready for new results, Mike. Stale is a good word for what it was. I'm just tired. I'm ready to move on from what we've been stale of. Whatever it is, I'm ready for that change. So here we go. We're on the track. We are on that track.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Let's go here. Tortilla says this. Again, Mark is just mad that Rudolph is running on fumes, so he has to go after JPJ. Let's go down here to Steel Loyal, my man, all the way from North Carolina. He says, this I know JPJ personally now, since he liked my story. We tight. He told me to tell Mark to shut the fuck up. There you go. Tyrone says, Robert, 3, but they made it where they can get out if they needed it. Mark Malone says, no, he's only on a 2-year deal. Dean is 29. Isaiah, here we go. Let's see what Isaiah has to say this time. Also, NFL is soft now. I miss old school football. Well, you know what? Now you make sense. See, this is when guys come in on the board. One time they're a total fuckface, and then the next comment they make all kind of sense. That's what throws me off.
Oh, you're gonna love the second part of his comment. He's gonna be your new favorite.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, okay. Then I won't say too much more good about him. Isaiah O'Kelly. Like another, at least an Irish name. I don't know if he's an Irish folk, but just like Tater Tard from Ireland. Let's continue down the board here. Tyrone says, right, and JPJ 25, case closed. Tortilla says, this pretty sure Dean signed a 3-year deal. No. Steele says, yeah, we got Dean for 3. Tyrone says this, yeah, Tortilla says 3-year 36.75. Let's go here to Mark Malone. Dean is a 3-year contract, actually. Hey, when is this message coming up soon, Mike?
Oh no, it was the second part of that comment. My bad.
I only had that. That was a tackle football in the Pro Bowl.
Tackle football in the Pro Bowl. Near and dear to your heart.
Well, that is near and dear to my heart. I thought you meant he had something shitty to say.
I didn't know if you read the whole comment because you kind of stopped at one point.
Can you just let me insult people on my own merit?
I'm sorry.
Can you please? I was so ready to insult him.
Nope.
All right, there you go.
You happy now?
Well, you look handsome today. Look at you.
I know, right?
All right, let's go here. All right, Isaiah. I don't know what to make of you, so I'm just going to scoot forward for now. Let's continue. He's on the board. Ice. You're on thin ice with us, mister.
You're not getting kicked out or booted or anything. You're just on thin ice, mister.
Yeah. Let's go right here. Mark is the goat. Tortilla is saying Tyrone says this. Mark gets his news from RB. Tater says this. 3 years in Pittsburgh. That would be a fantastic time, in my opinion. Tater says, I agree. 3 years in Pittsburgh.
Tater.
You got to come maybe and spend 3 years in.
Lindsay has a couch for you.
Let's go on right down here to Mark Malone. So between Dean and Everett, we're already set on the outside. Steel Loyal says, I knew I smelled something. What's up, Tater, right? smell a little bit like a little dog shit up in here, man. It's I smelled it too. I thought it was Mike's breath, but you know what? Tater is in the house. Let's continue right here to Ty. Ty says this. Everett ain't no outside corner. Laugh my ass off. Slot Robert says thanks. Good information on Dean. Mark Malone being crazy as always. No, Everett is definitely outside. Tortilla 3 years in Pittsburgh is like a day in Cleveland time. Let's go here. Steel Loyal also says this. He was outside in college. I don't know about the NFL. LOL. Tyrone says, oh yeah, most definitely let him guard Chase too, right? I think are we gonna have a Memorial Day bash? Are we gonna have a Memorial Day blowout, Mike? Do you feel the Mark Malone in the tie? Do you feel that?
Something's brewing in the air.
Do you feel what I feel? I do know that both of these guys, Mike, very, very passionate. Certainly, Tyrone with JPJ, and Mark Malone, very passionate about trolling JPJ. So I could totally see this going down today. Let's continue on the board right here. I lost track where I'm at. Let's go to Tyrone. We talk about practice. Vegas says this. Joe Hayden said Everett does a lot of press ball and chase coverage because he is so fast, but that gets him in trouble sometimes. Also, Steel Loyal says for position versatility, not for his actual position. There are already been talks of him playing big nickel and free safety. Tyrone says, love Everett. I do, but he ain't him just yet. I want to see what he got. Yes, in the slot. I'm sorry. Sheiky, what's up, Sheiky, baby? Always great. Always great. Always great seeing Steeler Sheik in the house. He says, hello. Always great seeing you, Steeler Sheik. He says, what's the news? What's the news, big baby? Always all the way from Saudi Arabia. Steeler Sheik in the house.
I love it. Steeler Sheik followed me on Twitter. I had made my day.
Hey, thank you for the follow. Mark Malone, he says, Alar Akbar. I hope that means we're about to blow some shit up on the offense, maybe, and put lots of points up, hopefully. But again, Mark Malone, you never know. You just never know what Mark's up to. All the way from the Midwest. Always great having Mark on the show. Let's go down a little bit more right here. But I do want to say what's up with the Sheiky baby. What's up, baby? John Anthony says he's a project quarterback. He's most likely, at best, future trade capital. Tater says this. The news is you guys are awesome, and we love the Steelers here in Ireland. I know you love the Steelers in Ireland.
Thank you, Tater. You're the best.
That is no secret, guys. They do love their Steelers in Ireland, and I know that Tater leading the way, Mike, to the president of the fan club. I think that he say.
I think so. He's going to be the Northern Ireland president of the Pittsburgh Steelers fan club.
I like it. You know what?
He's trying to get us to come back for another game.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We were so disappointed by Ireland. We were going to France this year, Tater. So I don't know what you want to do with that. I'm just kidding. It was a great time as always. We love Ireland. Let's scoot down here. Steelers Sheik, so funny at Mark Malone. He's a joker. He's a joker. Let's see. What is he? Steel Loyal says a smart Raiders fan. Can you say oxymoron? A smart Raiders fan. Think about it. Let's continue on. Tater says yes. Super Bowls in the future for the Steelers. We agree, Tater. We agree 100%. John Anthony says McCarthy loves bringing along fresh faces quarterbacks instead of relying on free agency or the draft to assure you have a future quarterback option. Also, Mark Malone, the question is, will Hayward be an all-pro again?
If he has, I'm calling it now, if he has 5 good games, he's going to be an all-pro.
Wait, what did you say? I quit paying attention. What did you say?
I said I'm calling it now. If Hayward has 5 good games this year, he's going to be an all-pro.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
reputation matters.
Reputation, absolutely. And that's why I always say, Mike, as soon as JPJ gets that Pro Bowl nod, he come on, unless this dude shits the bed, JPJ is going to be a Pro Bowler every year. Yep. Reputation in the NFL does go a long way. And as they continue to tell me, Mike, that Cam Hayward is one of the best defensive tackles in the league, that just proves to you Reputation goes a long way, because you're telling me all these 23, 24-year-old defensive tackles that are pulling these stunts and coming, just creating havoc, are not performing better than Cam. Yes, Cam is, he's a cornerstone here, but to call him the best defensive tackle in the league at this point in his career, I think is crazy. Crazy talk.
Great. He's still like, when he's
solid.
Oh yeah, but like when he's on, like, and he has those throwback games like he did, was it against Baltimore that last game of the year? That was a hell of it. That was an all-pro worthy game. When he followed it up next week in the playoffs, that's more of what we see with Cam. Like a play here, a play there, with a whole lot of nothing. But that last game of the year, that was vintage Cam Hayward. That was Cam in his prime. That was true all-pro form. But we don't see that game in, game out anymore. We don't see that type of performance a lot during the season. But when we do, it gets talked about a lot. And that's why I said if he has 5 of those type of performances, he's a lock for another all-pro.
Let's continue on the board. Let's go here to right here. Mark Malone. Mark Malone says this. The question is, will Howard be an all-pro again this year? Mike, I listen. I went on a wild Aaron Rodgers trip over the weekend, and I thought of something. Remember on Friday on the board, somebody said this, and I don't recall who it is, and I apologize. Will what was the term you use?
Will the Steelers to a win?
Will the Steelers to the win? You know what the answer to that is? The same exact line. Will the Steelers to a win? See how that's a riddle? The question is the answer. Will the Steelers to a win? Will the Steelers to a win?
Yeah.
So again, it took deep thought, a couple days. I'm a little slow, but at the end of the day, I just thought, I forget who that was. Was it Vegas? Maybe Vegas. That's my favorite question to ask. But think about it. The answer, Vegas, is literally the question. Will the Steelers to a win? All right, guys, let's move along. Let's go right here to John Anthony, my man. Newer to the board, but nonetheless, Mikey's showing a lot of strength on this roster. I got to be excited. I got to be honest with you. I'm excited about the addition of John Anthony. John Anthony says this: McCarthy loves bringing along fresh faces. Okay, we did get that one. I'm sorry. Yep. Let's scoot along a little bit. That does not mean any less. I think any less of you, John. It's just my bad mistake. Let me move forward right here. Here's where this is what I want. This is what I was looking for the whole time. I'm going to go right here. John says this: another Brown smear, worst stain of an organization in football, and all they do is try and dirty up other organizations with all their filth. Exactly. They are losers. There was a time in my life where I actually felt bad about calling another person a loser. I did. I thought that's not right. I mean, who am I? I'm nothing. How am I going to call somebody else a loser? But you know what? There is something, Mike. The Cleveland Browns are losers. There's nobody that's been more proven to be a loser than the Cleveland Browns. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Mike, listen to this. As crazy as it is that Magic Johnson got HIV in 1991 and he's still alive today, how much crazier is it the Cleveland Browns have not been able to finish the top of their division since 3 years prior to that? The last time they finished top of their division was 1988.
Right?
Mike, and again, can't we call what Magic Johnson has done as freakish?
Yes.
If that's the case, and you can't finish at the top of your division since 1988, Mike, it's coming on 4 years. This is 2027 next, or 40 years. This is coming on 2027 next year.
Yeah, and you got people like
are losers.
Yeah, and you got people like Joe Hayden saying Browns are close to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're getting a dome. They might host it.
They'll host one, but like they're 1988. I was 8 years old. That was the last time they won the division.
You were still shitting yourself, for crying out loud.
We all have had accidents, but yeah, like 8 years old.
Yeah.
It's the last time they won a division. They left the NFL and came back and still haven't won.
They came back as a whole different entity. They're not even the same entity that sucked. They're a whole new sucking entity.
If they were smart, they were like, you know what? Yeah, we moved to Baltimore. I would have been, if I was a Browns fan, I'm like, no, I'm now a Ravens fan.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm following my team wherever they go. If any team out of Pittsburgh moves, I'm following that team. Unless it's the Pirates.
And the fact, Mike, that they did, the Ravens ended up picking it up and won Super Bowls.
They won 2 Super Bowls.
This was the Browns. So the Browns are, again, they're losers. Losers. And I don't, listen, I don't feel right about even calling people losers, but they are losers. It's warranted. Let's go right here to Hanjon. Always great seeing Hanjon on the board. He says, since they are retooling Aller from the ground up, that tells me he is quarterback one of the future. You don't really do that to ever let them walk. I mean, that's a good point. That's a good theory. But again, at the end of the day, the dude has to have it. You know, the guy, he has to be able to do the job. And but you make sense, Hanjon. Makes sense. Mark Malone says, yeah, they're just converting salary to bonus. Mark Malone, it won't make much of a difference. Tyrone says this. They're just getting started with the reconstruction, I think, to free up much money they can to extend guy. Absolutely. It's a year-round business. These guys are constantly working and moving numbers and try to get things to work. So for sure. Steel Loyal, he says this. He says Keanu Benton is going to go crazy this season, I feel, especially if we start lining up a defensive end. And let me tell you something. There's nothing I would love more than for Keanu Benton to go crazy. Like, we've been saying this for a couple years. First 2 years, we weren't thrilled. Last year, he came along, and, you know, just finishing the play has kind of been his Achilles heel. Mike, if he can improve, especially with, again, under a new defense, a new coordinator, new personnel, Mike, again, I believe me, I would love for Keanu Benton to explode with success, because that would be so beneficial to the middle of this defense. We've kind of needed him to do that. And Mike, he's been working his way, but the question is going to be: is he going to be able to be that factor, that important player in the middle of that defense that's going to make a difference? I don't know. We don't know. We hope so. But at the end of the day, Mike, this is why he's on the short end of my list when we're talking about all these guys.
Yeah, if he can become a solid rotational player for basically start out the season, like, hey, we passing downs, we're going to put you in there a lot. Let you use your pass rush moves to get to the quarterback, disrupt the play in the backfield. I'd start him out there, then work him into being a rotational piece behind Cam Hayward. And don't put him at nose. Let anytime you go base 3-4, put Day at nose. And let him work there and let Benton play on the outside. The only time I want to see Benton in the middle of the defense is in like a traditional or a faux traditional 4-man front where he's an interior D tackle, not over the center. Have him, you know, in the center guard gap. Let him fight over there. Don't let him just play nose. You can get something out of him. He has the athletic quickness to get back into the backfield to disrupt plays. Utilize that.
Absolutely. Let's get back at it. A couple things that we are going to get to, some more topics to get into, talk about. We do have a bunch to go over today. A lot of stuff on offense, on the offensive side of the ball, kind of wrapping up what we finished up last week with week 1 of this 10-day OTA program. Again, back at it tomorrow, Thursday and Friday for this week. And then next week, they will be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday to wrap up the OTAs. At least, again, this 10 group segment, of course, I think you might call it something like that along those lines. But tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday next week. So a few things, guys, I'm going to get into shortly here, but I am going to continue on the board for a little bit. John Anthony says this: I'm not impressed with the way the Steelers have been throwing money around like all the other shit organizations in the NFL lately. That's not the Steelers. You know what, John? That's a good point. And, you know, this is a good argument some people were going to make. It's just not the Steelers' way anymore. But in my opinion, I agree with you, but in another sense, you also have to look at it this way: the way that the game is constantly changing. You know, there are things that you're gonna have to kind of do to keep up with the Joneses in a way, because again, if not, you don't want to fall too far behind. So I think if you can find a good balance of the way Steelers generally did things and maybe what they're doing now, is it just what we're going to see from Omar Khan? Is this going to be the way things are ran here? You know, within the team with the people that we do have running the ship, we don't know, but I think a nice balance of both could be beneficial. I'm not totally against it. I'm going to be honest with you, John. I am kind of excited to see this because, again, for 40 some years of my life, the Steelers have been ran one way. So I'm kind of embracing some of these changes. Again, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. But there's a part of me that does enjoy it. There was a time that the Pittsburgh Steelers would have never brought in DK Metcalf, Jalen Ramsey, Michael Pittman Jr. The list really goes on and on. So this is kind of fun for me in a way. But in the big picture, I understand what you're saying, and I do agree with you. But I'm liking the aggressiveness of the offseason where we might have been saying, well, you know what, if we could have got this guy, we could have been a team making the run for it. We could have been a team in the playoffs. So maybe we're getting that taste now and under a different coach. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We learn. But at the end of the day, after 40 some years of football for me, I'm embracing some of these changes. And again, also the offensive minded head coach. That's another change that I'm certainly embracing. Never in my life or anybody's life has the Pittsburgh Steelers been headed by a offensive head coach. So again, I'm embracing these changes. I don't disagree with you, John. Believe me, I'm just, as I said, as a fan, I'm just kind of embracing the changes and enjoying it a little bit right now. Let's continue on the board. Vegas, he says this Sport Track says we now have 3.12 million left, which is the second best. Tyrone says, I hope you don't think he gets extended though. Ty follows it up by saying, yeah, we got to keep our guys, our young guys for sure is what he's saying. Absolutely. Mark Malone is saying this, the signing bonuses are what makes them hard to get out of. Tyrone says this J-Ram last year as well. And you know what? I'm going to be okay with that, Mike, unless J-Ram really blows up. Unless he comes out and has like a Pro Bowl season, I think I'm going to be fine with J-Ram being gone after this season.
He's still back through his contract runs through 2028.
I'll see another year, 2 more years.
Yeah, he got 2 more years. Like next year's dead cap space, if we cut him, is about 17 million. So really, 2028 we can cut him, and his cap hit balloons to 31 million. If we cut him, we dead cap's 11 million, so we save about 20 million. So yeah, we got J-Ram for 2 more years. Realistically.
And as he was saying, though, in the thing, he's a guy that after another season, unless he has a Pro Bowl year, I'm okay with him going. I think he's going to be beneficial. I think he's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to be able to use him in different ways because we have the other corner positions filled and some nice weapons back there. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I don't hate losing J-Ram, but if he has a Pro Bowl season, I'll love it. So let's hope that he can do that. Yeah,
and he's at the point where our secondary is at the point where we don't have to count on him to be the guy.
Right.
He just needs to be a game wrecker in that defense to where let everyone else shut people down. You find ball, hit ball.
Yes, absolutely.
See ball carrier, destroy ball carrier. Be that guy.
Let's go right here to Tortilla. He says Tater works at Walmart. Mike McNem. Mike Nem, what's up, dude? Great seeing you back on the terrible board. He says, hold on now, Dawn. I don't know what I missed there, but welcome back to the show, Mike. Tyrone, after June 1st, guys will get guys. Mark Malone says this, Asante Samuel Jr. will be cheap to re-sign. Let's go, Tyrone. Tyrone. Where did Tyrone go? Right here. Why you think they only gave him a 1-year deal? Mark Malone, JPJ, maybe. Mark Malone. Tyrone, not a chance. Still loyal. Brian Angelicio is really good with tight ends, so we shall see. And you know what? As I said, Mike, twice today in conversation, the tight ends have come up. We talked about the reconstruction of Pat Freiermuth's contract, and also, Mike, just the should-be dominance of Darnell Washington. Mike, I would love to see now. I want the tight ends to have a great.
Right.
Last year when we had the cluster of crap that it was just it was a mess. It was a mess what we had going on last year with the offensive coordinator and the 35 tight ends, wide receivers. Now things are kind of resembling a normal football team again, where these things can matter. Mike, they didn't matter before. It didn't matter if our tight end was involved because we didn't have anything going on. There was no identity. There was no rhyme, no reason. Mike, now you have able-bodied wide receivers that people have to focus on. You have tight ends that can make a difference in this game that people have to focus on. You have a strong running game that people have to focus on. Now it's coming. Mike, now it's starting to feel good, isn't it? In my opinion, I think things are starting to feel nice here with the Steeler team.
It does. And, It's like those final pieces of the puzzle are being put into the on the board. You know, they've been building and building, rebuilding the team, rebuilding offense, defense for past 4 years now. And like you're finally getting those little finishing touches put put together, and it's looking good, looking good. It's just hopefully we can go out and execute, and that's a big thing. Execution, baby, execution. Because if they can execute, the teams are going to be scary good.
Private Mahler, your parents look like you look like your parents are disappointed.
Like, well, yeah.
Not even Mr. Rogers will be proud of you. Let me find.
Oh, damn, that one actually kind of cut deep. Mr. Rogers not proud of me. Fuck.
I had another good one here. Let me find my last good one, and
Damn,
then I'll stop. Then I'll stop for the day. I'm having a little bit of fun with this. Here it is. What's up with the scar on your dome, Private? Did your mom miss you with the coat hanger?
You know, they call me the big cat for a reason, man.
That's right. Let's go right here to Tyrone. Tyrone says, yes, better see Muth and Darnell be used. Absolutely. Now I want to see them. Right. You see, do you guys feel how this all is feeling better? Things are getting better. And yes, we don't have the answer. We don't know what this season's going to be. We don't, but things are feeling a lot of those little things over time. You sort of say, "Hey, gee, why aren't we doing this?" Oh, whatever. You're starting to feel things fall into place, and I like it. I like it a lot. Like again, Chuck Noll became stale. That's all I want to say. Chuck Noll became stale to finish career, guys. I'm ready for the new change, and we're here for it. And again, Mike, things are looking good in Steeler land. A lot of positive vibe, positive word, everything coming out of the Steeler camp, OTAs. Things are looking good. Let's go right here to Steel Loyal. Darnell dribbles helmets like basketball. He sure does.
Just love when he goes, wow.
John Anthony says, I expect the D to fall off a notch, and finally, more of an emphasis on the offense. The league favors offenses. The refs do. We all effing know it, and I'm gonna start betting on games again. Let's go to Vegas. Vegas says this middle of the field is lava. Tortilla says Joey Porter the third will be born before Joey Porter Jr. leaves Pittsburgh. It's a part of the script. History rhymes. Let's go. Yeah. John Anthony, Arthur Smith only claim to fame was his daddy was the founder. Yes, he was of FedEx. He only passed away, I think, last year. Pops did. The founder, yes, of FedEx. Vegas says that's pretty awesome for his daddy. Mike Nem says this Washington is like Gulliver amongst the Lilliputians. Right here, elite movie knowledge, of course, is right there. We go. Elite movie knowledge is what was said. Steel Loyal says Gulliver's travels fire. Tyrone, we actually throw the ball over the middle. Muth is in seam. Finally, we've been asking this last 5 years. A couple more, Mike. We're gonna get into a couple other topics here. And John says they went low on Mount Washington. That works until he starts hurdling. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. The fact that this guy hurdles over people at his size is unbelievable. You have to use this guy. He has to be a weapon. If he's not a weapon and this team doesn't win and doesn't win a playoff game, you're going to be able to point back to these things because, guys, he's hard to tackle. He's hard to stop. Why wouldn't you want that guy to have the ball a lot? I'm just saying. And Mike, it's the word that I'm getting is, yes, he's been dealing with, of course, he had the injury, the broken forearm last year.
Yeah.
But the word out of OTAs is he is looking bigger and stronger. Mike, Darnell Washington's looking bigger? I didn't even know that was possible. Mike, are you awake?
I'm awake. It's like I got lost in thinking about Darnell Washington just destroying people. I was playing clips in my head, but yeah, like if he's coming back from the injury, thinner, bigger, faster, healthier, I'm all for some more Darnell Washington.
Dude, he's jumping over people. Hurting them in his knee, catches the side of someone's helmet and KOs them. Yeah, for sure, hand, John. Let's go right here. John Anthony says this. That's why Smith sucks so bad. Oh, thank you, Somber. I want to say what's up to Somber. Great seeing you, dude. John Anthony says this. That's why he sucks. Smith sucks so bad. He knows he's going to inherit his. And at the end of the day, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you're crazy, but you know what? At the end of the day, if your daddy is a billionaire, who knows what the hell thoughts are going through your head? I don't care who you are. Billionaire is a billionaire. No Savage jersey for Cody. No Savage jersey for Cody is what Steel Loyal is saying. And John says this. Mike and John says, I don't think they are even interested in Savage any longer, nor am I. I'm ready for them to move on from that disaster. Vegas says Fred Smith, founder of FedEx, received a grade of C from a professor when he submitted his idea for the company as an assignment for a course at Yale University. Hey, could you imagine if he would have got an A? He could have owned UPS, right?
You know what? UPS is where it's at.
There you go. Tyrone says, sorry, Cody, don't even bother bringing in Savage. Tyrone also says Mark would pay Savage instead of JPJ. Mark said, hell no. Also, great Tyrone. Yeah, wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't. Don't lie. You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie. I'm going to say what's up to Kenny. What's up, my man? Kenneth Jones on the board. Always great seeing Kenny. I hope you're having a good 3-day weekend. Hopefully it's a 3-day weekend for you. Mark Malone says, I'd pay JPJ personally. The Steelers won't, though. Let's go here to Vegas. Vegas says this. Way off topic, but the Vegas Golden Knights came back from a 3-0 deficit, first period deficit to win 5-3 and go 3-0 versus the Avs in the Western Conference Finals. Hey, let's hope that they get it, man. I didn't even realize that that's what was still going on with hockey, but good luck to them. Let's go here to Ty. He says, why would they let the best player? Why would they let the best player? Why would they let go of the best player? I'm sorry. I need a real explanation why you think that. Well, because Mark is absolutely insane. That's probably the best reason.
It's all the Krylon and keyboard duster.
But Mark says
it's frying his brain.
Mark says this. Too much money. Too much money is what he's saying. Still loyal. Kane's gonna win the Stanley Cup, so it doesn't matter. The Canes are tough. No two ways about that. Mike, and then also I think the NBA, they got to be getting close to their finals as well too.
I think I know the East is wrapped up or almost wrapped up. The West is, I think the Spurs tied it up 2-2, or I don't know if OKC pulled out the 3-1 lead. I know it's getting close.
Is the Knicks the team that's doing good in the East? Is that okay? Yeah. I like the Knicks. I can root for the Knicks. I have no problem with the Knicks.
I just don't want OKC to win. It's everything that's wrong with sports is the Thunder.
Let's go right here. Aaron Jade, what's up? Always great seeing Aaron Jade on the board. Here we go, Steelers with the Rockets, baby. You know, Memorial Day is lit when Aaron is here giving the word, Mike. Here we go with the Rockets. Thank you for being here, Aaron. As always, great seeing you, bud. Vegas says, well, that will be terrible. Tyrone, so was TJ, and they paid him too. A couple more. I swear to you, I'm gonna get some topics here, guys. I'm trying not to fall too far behind. Not on Memorial Day, at least. I want to at least keep up if I can. Let's go here. 0 picks. Mark Malone says Tyrone, and he had 11 sacks. When did that? When they did that? Let's follow up saying tortilla, as Cody would say. Vince Williams is slow. Cody would say that. Mark Malone, he says that was in a Tomlin defense, though. Let's continue down here to Tyrone. Yep, new Steelers era, new scheme. Thank God. I agree. Come on, let's win, guys. I'm ready to get back to winning in this damn town. Fuck. I'm ready to win. Vegas says he wouldn't say that if Coach T was. I don't know. Again, I don't know.
Coach T is black.
I don't know. I didn't even know how to that soak into my brain before I even answered it. Let's go here. Vegas says it's soft now because players are looked at as investments and not glad. You're right. It's football's a different game now. It's more about business, unfortunately, and less about football itself and the grit, in the fight, and the mud and the blood and the tears, and I just everything that made football. It's different. It is different. There's no two ways about it. It's a different time, unfortunately. Tortilla says this can't stay hard forever. I learned that the hard way. Hey, now let's go right here to a Steeler. Where did he go? Where did he go? Where did my Steeler sheik go? There he is. Steeler Sheiky baby. Sheiky says this, I really enjoy your show, and as of a follower who admires you, I have a suggestion. I think chat interactions should be faster so followers don't get bored. All right, we'll take that into account. Certainly, Sheiky. He follows it up by saying there should be more discussion topics to keep everyone engaged. I hope you will consider the suggestion with an open mind. I do. I will. I certainly will take all feedback. Absolutely. Thank you, Sheiky.
Yeah, Ryan and I talk about the show constantly.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate you, Sheiky. Also, let's go to Han John. He says Mark's peeing in front of a fan. Mark is peeing in front of a fan. Let's go to Tyrone. Tyrone says, I actually like Mark. He knows Steelers ball, but this JPJ walk, talk, a no-go. Mark's he's a different beast for sure. I mean, he knows his shit. There's no two ways about it. The guy's been a Steeler fan for a long time, and he's a different animal. He's a different animal, and it makes all kind. It takes all kind, baby. It sure does. Let's go right here to Steel Loyal. If you're bored during the show, that's on you. No disrespect. I love the way they have the show set up. We thank you, Steel. Right here to Tortilla. Yeah, I take full responsibility for why this show goes off the rail. Tortilla, baby, you guys are listen. Everybody brings a certain quality to this show, and that's why we don't change the way we've done anything to this point, to the way we do everything. Like, because again, the tortillas bring a certain thing to the show. The Mark Malones bring a certain thing to the show. Han Johns, the Steel Loyals, the Vegas, the whole way down the list. Everybody brings something to this show that makes this show unique, guys. Again, we everything is good in the hood on our end, and again, we do take all feedback, and we will talk about it when it's all said and done and try to improve, of course. Yeah. But again, every person has something that they bring to the table, and again, why this show is what it is. Tortilla says we are the coolest Steelers fans alive, and I couldn't agree more.
You guys are. Everyone but Cody.
Let's go here to right about here. Right here? No, right there. Right here. Vegas says, Sheik, do you wear shoes like the Iron Sheik? Well, with the curled toe, I think maybe he might be talking about. Mike the Iron Sheik. Remember his wrestling boots were like
yes. The Iron Sheik was one of my all-time favorite wrestlers of all time. The camel clutch.
I didn't love the Iron Sheik until later when he was on Twitter. And you got to see what kind of an asshole he really was.
Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Fuck the Hulk Hogan. He was like, fuck everything, this guy.
I humbled them.
But again, yes, Sheiky, baby, of course. Later on, Mike, he became one of my favorites.
Sheik at that time was one of the only villains that I liked. He was so goddamn good at even as a little kid, not knowing what was going on, that it was all scripted stuff. I still loved the Iron Sheik just because he was so dastardly evil.
You know what? And I think that's what it was. I was a kid, and I thought, oh my God, who's this villain? I don't like this guy. You know what I mean? So it took a little later in life whenever I really started to appreciate Sheiky. Because I mean, who didn't love Hulk Hogan when
I loved Hulk, but the Sheik as well. I loved him too.
Because you were a little kid, and the Hulk. I mean, he was the face. But again, I later on, as Mark Malone agrees on the board, I love Iron Sheik. I wish he could have been around with us a little bit longer. Let's go right here to Steel Loyal. He says this is a No Filter Steelers podcast, followed by Tyrone saying they show is ran perfectly fine. And don't give Sheiky a hard time. He's it's all good. It's all good. Like I said, I'd rather get feedback and again have all that information to be able to make our decisions based from that. So he's still Sheiky does come through and say this. Just to clarify, I'm not bored at all. I actually enjoy the show a lot and watch it regularly. My suggestion was simply to have more open discussions and audience interaction from time to time. We totally take that in as well. And he says, I think it would be would make an already great show even better. We appreciate your compliment again, Sheiky. No hard feelings, sir. I appreciate what you said again.
Hell yeah, brother.
Take it easy on Sheiky. He's just trying to help out. Let's continue on here to Steel Loyal, my man. He says this. I think it would make an already great show even better. That's what Sheiky said. This podcast is literally one big open discussion, so I'm not sure I understand, but I see what you're saying. Ty says 100. Let's go down here to Tortilla. Let me grab two more, and then I'm going to get to some topics. Mike, I do have a list full of topics to talk about here. Tortilla says, yeah, you hear too much to not like the show, just throwing some shit feedback. It's all good, dude. It is all good. Tyrone, these guys actually care about the people, and we sure do, guys. Let's get to the
Everyone but Cody.
everybody but Cody. Let's get to some topics, guys. DK Metcalf, Mike. DK Metcalf said it means a lot. It means a lot that Aaron Rodgers joined the Steelers earlier than he did last year. Mike, kind of again going to what I'm saying, it means something to the players to have your captain there with you and to have your leader there with you. I'm happy to see him. What was it, 2 weeks, 3 weeks earlier than it was last year? I think this also, along with everything else the Steelers are doing to improve their team, is beneficial to this football team. Whether he does play in August, whether he doesn't play in August, I think the fact that your leader is walking amongst everybody else, amongst the young, amongst the veterans, amongst the other players on your team, kind of gives you that feeling of, you know what, this is a team. Let's go out and win together and have this really mean something. Yeah. And now with Aaron walking away after this season, I think that also kind of makes the team feel a certain way. Let's win this for Aaron. Also with the new coaching system, also with the new wide receivers, Mike, I honestly can't tell you why some of these people were saying that it doesn't look like we're an improved team. It just doesn't make sense to me unless you're just trying to get attention and using the Pittsburgh as the scapegoat again, Mike. But there's no way at the end of the day this team has decreased. I say it's only gone up.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, how can you not look at their free agent moves, their draft picks, the way look from when Colin Weedle took over to now.
Hold on, I have to stop you. I do want to say thank you so much to Shiki Baby on the board. That's very, very, very generous, my friend. You did not have to do that, but I want to say thank you, Mike Shiki, with a super chat on the board. Mike, he says, sorry for the misunderstanding. Keep going, Mike.
Oh, Shiki, you're perfect, brother.
You are perfect. There's no misunderstanding.
Yes. No. I understood exactly where you came from, brother.
Yeah.
No, but you know what that means, though. Thank you, but donation, you know what that means.
There you go. And also, Mike, baby. And also that goes towards the big Tater and Lindsay wedding. So, guys, that coming up. Keep your ears peeled for the big Tater Lindsay wedding. Sheik, but seriously, my friend, thank you so much. Nobody took it the wrong way. Nobody did, I promise you. But thank you. Very generous. We very well appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Let me go back here just a little bit, Mike. I'm going to grab. Now you know what we're talking about something. What are we talking about?
We're talking about how the Steelers haven't improved. And I was saying, like, look from when Weedle and Colin took over to where we are now. This roster is the turnover, and it has improved. From last year to this year, it has improved as well. And then you add in new coaches, new philosophy. Hopefully, that new energy is coming in. How can you say that? Like you said, how can you say this team has not improved? Like, you have to literally just be talking out of your ass at that point. Or you can go, oh, they don't have a young up-and-coming quarterback, so therefore they suck. Oh, they didn't draft a rookie quarterback. Really, it's people that are bitching about the Steelers in the local media, the national media. They're this pissed that the Steelers didn't do what they wanted the Steelers to do. And I think that's where a lot of the anger and resentment for the Steelers comes from the media. They're not doing what they want them to do. That the Steelers do things their own way. They adopt stuff from the NFL that's working. They may be slow to do it, but when they do it, they tend to do it well. And, Rooney wants to remain competitive and rebuild at the same time. Guess what? That's what we're doing. We're rebuilding and remaining competitive at the same time. And if you look at this roster objectively from 4 years ago to now, it's much better, and it's primed to take off because they've added a lot of young talent to the draft, and all but like 4 or 5 players or even less than that they've drafted are not on this active roster right now. So they have a lot of young talent ready to go.
Mike, do you want to hear three things? 3 things that are going to make you feel good about your Pittsburgh Steelers. This all on the offensive side of the ball, guys. I'm going to call this segment 3 things. These 3 things is word from last week, from the first week of OTAs. These 3 things are going to be what makes you feel better about your team today. Mike, Aaron Rodgers says this quote, "I'm not back for the money. I'm not back for the publicity. I'm back to win it all." That makes me feel good about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Guys, again, you put that that mindset in the locker room. Here I am. I'm a Hall of Famer. I'm here playing football. I don't want them, yes, I'm making money, of course. but at the end of the day, I want to win a championship to walk off. That gives that team enough motivation in that locker room to at least play for that cause. Listen, if it happens, if it doesn't happen, at least there's that motivation. And this guy cares enough. He came back. He wants to win a championship. It's not all about him. He's telling us, guys, I am back for a final run. Number 2, Mike, on 3 things to make you happy about your Pittsburgh Steelers today. Number 2, Fatanu. Of course, Troy Fatanu, Mike, looked comfortable in his move to left tackle. Very encouraging, Mike. Fatanu looking very comfortable going back to left tackle last week and playing that position. Of course, the left-hand side of the offensive line, a big question mark this offseason, rightfully so. Mike, the fact that Fatanu feels great about moving back to his left side.
Makes me feel really good. And like I said, man, he has the athletic ability. He has it up here to where being moved from side to side not going to affect his play at all. I'm loving seeing it there. And I think he's going to dominate on that side, brother.
And finally, my 3 things that are going to make you a little bit more excited about your Steelers to start off the week. Again, OTA is back at it tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and then again next week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Wraps up the OTA program here at this particular program, guys. Number 3, though, on my list, Mike, is this. You could tell the difference. Mike McCarthy's impact is obvious on the Steelers offense. Mike, this is being said widely. It's not just a beat writer. It's not just one person. You're seeing a difference in the Mike. We went 10-7 with that garbage that we had last year with 13 tight ends, no wide receivers, we're improving in a lot of different ways. And again, right here, Mike, it's looking totally different under the new coach. You gotta be anxious about what's coming up this season for the Steelers. Boy, I can't wait to get to the end of July.
That makes me so happy to hear that it's looking leaps and bounds better than what we saw last year.
Because at the end of the day, Mike, they weren't exactly failures on offense. They just weren't really great.
They weren't consistent last year.
Right.
And then if you add, if they're more consistent this year, and you actually have legit number 2 wide receiver. You have a legit slot receiver now. I thought we had 2 really good running backs last year. You still have that. You have a line that's improving. You have play callers who designed actual NFL plays their whole lives that are still used by half the fucking league, and now they're coming here running that offense. What's not to be excited about?
I agree.
What's not to make you feel good as a Steelers fan? And you're going to have a quick strike offense, which, if they run that traditional West Coast, 3 yards, 5 or 3-step, 5-step, get the ball out type offense. You got playmakers. You get the ball in their hands. They are great with the ball in their hands, and Aaron Rodgers is good at getting the ball out quick and making the appropriate read. So what's not to like about this? Well, how can you not be excited?
I agree, Mike. So there you go. There's my 3 things on why you should be excited about your Pittsburgh Steelers this Monday, Memorial Day Monday. Again, guys, the unofficial start to summertime. Maybe you get the pool open up. Maybe you're going camping, whatever the case may be. I hope everybody had a great 3-day weekend this weekend, as it is, Mike, again, Memorial Day here in the United States of America. And again, we're glad to be here with everybody on this Monday morning talk, or this Monday afternoon, talking Steeler football. A few more things, Mike, and I'm going to get back to the board for the duration of this show. Brandon Johnson, Mike, he is impressing at the OTAs. So I'm going to give you a couple things now, Mike, of some things that you might have been a little concerned about. Johnson is, as for his name, Brandon, right? Why does that not feel right to me today?
I don't know.
Brandon Johnson is impressing at the OTAs, Mike. Dylan Cook, happy to be back on the right-hand side at his natural position at right tackle. Mike, some early Steeler scoop that might be good things to hear, right?
Yeah, good things to hear. Brandon Johnson, he's played in a handful of games throughout his NFL career. Not had a whole lot of success. In limited time, let's say his best year was 2023 in Denver. 13 games, 19 catches, 284 yards, 4 touchdowns. If you can get that production out of him as your 5th, maybe 6th receiver coming in and out of the lineup, if he can produce on special teams, gunner, take someone's spot, be more productive than what we've had last year, that's an encouraging sign right there. You're not, at least we aren't putting our hopes on him to fight to be the number 2 receiver. It's someone who can be a rotational piece in that offense, get a couple catches here and there, get 4 touchdowns out of him this year. That's a win in my book. Dylan Cook, going back to his natural position on the right side, my guy was a quarterback, so I really don't know his natural position on the O line. But if he's more comfortable,
are you suggesting we put him under center, perhaps?
maybe this Frazier guy, where's his Pro Bowls, where's his All Pros, what has he ever won?
Right.
But like Dylan Cook, if he's more comfortable over there, if Fatana is more comfortable on the left, and they have the ability to play on the side that they're more comfortable on, keep them there. I'm willing to rock with it. I trust our 2 new offensive line coaches in Camden and Jari Evans. I'm going to trust them to develop Dylan Cook on that right side more than left. I actually prefer him on the right than on the left side. I want that guy who doesn't have a lot of experience. I want him protecting the front side of my quarterback.
Mike, the wide receivers, speculation that this offseason isn't quite over yet as far as making moves, transactions. Mike, there's names that keep popping up. Again, I'm not against bringing in another wide receiver. I'm not against bringing in a veteran wide receiver because I think at this point, now that we do have wide receivers, an older wide receiver could be supplemental, where if you would have brought in some of these guys last year when we didn't have the position, you're now relying on that person to be the main target at that position. Now that we have that we brought Pittman in, and now that we drafted Jeremy, Mike, some of these other names like Deebo Samuel and even Hopkins, who again, even where he's at in his career, you're not jumping up and down. But Mike, if you bring one of these older guys in at this point, Keenan Allen even is a name that certainly came up. I'm not against it all. Lazard is the latest rumor Vegas is hearing. Of course, he's saying on the board, I'm not against it now. Where before, I didn't want that person be coming here and becoming a main target because I think that's a total. I think it's a disaster. But now that you have pieces in place, I'm not against that, Mike. And again, some different names have been coming up over the past, so often you're talking about some of these names. Where are you? Would you be okay again with bringing in something to just bolster the wide receiver room, Mike? Because we do know we have 1 and 2. We also know that Jeremy and Roman are going to be fighting for 3 and 4. It looks like. And beyond that, Mike, again, you got Skoranek. But again, I would use a veteran set of hands again to supplement the wide receiver room at this point. Again, knowing that they're not going to be a big part of it. But you know what? That set of hands could be valuable at certain times in a game when maybe a defense isn't expecting it. Have a wide open DeAndre Hopkins. You see what I'm saying? So, Mike, at this point in the game, how are you feeling about still going after maybe another big name veteran wide receiver to fill the room?
I'm more comfortable now than before the draft. So we did because I think Jeremy's going to be a huge addition to this team. And like you said, now these older vets, you're not relying on them to be that opposite threat of DK Metcalf. You just want them to just come in and do anything positive. Be that, that safety valve. That more sure-handed player, just catch the ball, turn around. Who was that receiver for Seattle that all those years caught the ball, fell down? Just be that. We're not asking a lot out of you. Just be a safety valve. So, someone like Deebo Samuels would be a good pick because Jeremy Bernard has a lot of Deebo Samuel qualities. Who better to pair him with? To not sit there and have Deebo coach him up, but for sit there, hey, Jeremy, watch what he does. Just copy what Deebo is doing right now. That's the kind of player we want you to be right now. Could be a sneaky good signing there if the price is right.
Mike, I want to see. Listen, if Roman Wilson could come out and seem somewhat productive and seem something like he could be a weapon, I mean, that's a really good case scenario to be in because at the end of the day, who knows what the hell's going on with Roman Wilson? Who knows why the hell he's been in the league 2 years? Of course, the first year he dealt with the injuries. Last year, just a handful of plays. But at the end of the day, Mike, I think if Roman Wilson is giving Jeremy Bernard a run for his money for wide receiver 3, I'm sorry, Mike, I think that's the best case scenario because again, at the end of the day, that means his play is up. Mm-hmm. And if him and Jeremy are fighting for that spot to go for 3 or 4, Mike, I think this is a good sign. If Jeremy Bernard walks in as a rookie and takes that spot, you're not feeling so good overall. But I think the extra set of hands, if Roman Wilson would step up and show some promise, and again, even give a little bit of competition at that wide receiver 3 at the end of the day, I think you got to like that as well if you're a Steeler fan.
Yeah, and let's not forget, he was a 3rd-round pick for a reason. Like it wasn't seen as a reach when they grabbed him in the third round. It was seen
No.
as a very smart pick at the time coming out of college. And now, like, and we saw a handful of plays last year of why he was a good pick. It's up to him now to get out there and make it happen. Because if he does, you're forcing the Steelers' hand to keep you, and you're forcing their hand to be like, maybe we don't need to go out and get someone else to be a safety valve, to round out this room. We're okay with you and Jeremy. We know we got the two big guys. We're okay because we know what Skoronek's going to do. Skoronek's mainly there to be that gunner and another bigger target that A-Rod kind of looked at a handful of times last year. We know what he can do. Show what you can do in these OTAs. Show that you're locking down a roster spot you're forcing the team to not go out and get someone. Because it tells me if they go out and get one of these bigger name vets, it tells me that Roman Wilson might be on the chopping block and not progressing the way they want to. Now, if they go out and get another wide receiver in free agency that's a veteran, but down there on the tier list of like why are they bringing him in if they're in that range? Okay, it's just a camp buddy. At that point, that's telling me Roman's doing something right.
I hope you're right, Mike. One more thing, then we're going to get back to the board for the duration, guys. This is your Hall of Honor eligible players for the Pittsburgh Steelers Hall of Honor this year, Mike. Of course, not the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Honor at the stadium. This is your new list of eligible players, guys, or your list of eligible players. Antonio Brown. Mike, he could be on the Hall of Honor. Le'Veon Bell now eligible. Also, Levon Kirkland, right here on the show, Mike, a guest of ours on the show. Levon Kirkland is now eligible. He is eligible for the Hall of Honor. Robin Cole, David Little, a linebacker from when I was growing up. I remember David Little actually very well. Gary Anderson, Mike, old number one. He could also be eligible also for the Hall of Honor. Brian Hinkle, number 53, old linebacker from also when I was growing up, right along the same time as David Little. Let's go here to Ike Taylor, Mike. Ike Taylor is now eligible to become to be elected into the Hall of Honor. Lawrence Timmons.
Damn.
Cordell Stewart. David DeCastro. And Brett Kiesel. So they got their work cut out from trying to figure out who is going to be elected into the Hall of Honor this year, Mike. That's a damn good list of players. Good luck trying to figure that one out.
That is like there's a case to be made for everyone.
For every single one of those players, you're right. Every single one of them.
Just off the top of my head, like, I'm sorry, Gary should be in.
Absolutely.
An all-time great Steeler. God, Timmons, Ike, Levon, Kiesel, Jesus God.
DeCastro, Cordell.
DeCastro was good. Cordell, yeah, like,
yeah, no, they got their work cut out for them, man.
That's a lot. Damn.
So there you go. Those some of these players will be, Mike, inducted into the Hall of Honor at Acrisure Stadium this year.
You know what? If Ike Taylor could catch a goddamn football, we'd be talking about him double dipping between the Hall of Honor and the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. It is, Mark. It's a lot of guys. Let me jump back on the board, guys. Let's go right here. I do want to start with Shiki right here. He said, I think my comment may have been misunderstood. It is all good, bro. So we're gonna fast forward. We're gonna act like it never even happened in that capacity. But again, we do certainly keep all the feedback under consideration. Thank you. I'm gonna scoot ahead just a little bit here, guys. Just because I'm a little far back. Let me go right here. Vegas, I remember that day. It sucked when Magic. Sucked Magic is why I love basketball. Absolutely, dude. I remember that as well. Just thinking, what the fuck? I was a kid. I thought, I had HIV. That's terrible. And at the time, HIV was a death sentence.
Yeah.
When you were 1991, I was 13 years old. I mean, it was considered a death sentence. Nobody wanted to know HIV, believe me. Who would have thought here we'd be in 2026 and Magic would still be looking as good as he does? The guy's in great shape at this point in his life. Still loyal says, yeah, I'm defensive. I played safety and linebacker. It's in my blood. Nice. And no wonder you're a Steeler fan. Tortilla says, except for Cody or Mark, they are attack mode. Let's go down a little bit. I'm going to scoot just a hair, guys. Tortilla says this. Even Tater likes the show. He just hates. Yeah, Tater. Let me scoot on Vegas. I asked every person that's an expert in English, and she said, I asked a person that's an expert in English, and she said it's a properly worded question. Tortilla says, Shiki, we're all defensive. Let's go here. Vegas, I remember that day. Okay, we did get that one. Scoot a little bit ahead. Vegas, our guy last week said he played defensive tackle at 183 pounds. What did you weigh at linebacker? Mark Malone, Lindsay is the one you got to watch out for. I couldn't agree more. You got to watch out for Lindsay, Mike. You got to watch out for Lindsay.
You got to.
Steel Loyal, defensive tackle, 183. Was it middle school? Mike says this. Mike Nem. The Sucky Browns of Cleveland. The Sucky Browns left Cleveland, and the Super Sucky Browns replaced them in Cleveland. Vegas. He said his shoulders have been effed ever since. Cody, what's up, dude? Great seeing Cody in the house. As always, I thought I heard that hamster wheel turning.
I know, right?
Cody says this. He says, hey, Vegas, did a semi run into your house and give you a concussion? West or Good Us Too? I don't know. What is that? Is that a movie reference? What's going on? What is going on, Mike?
I have no idea what's going on right now.
Little thrown off right there. Steel Loyal says Mike Nem. Just watch out for water spouts, brother. I'm totally confused. I have to get to a part of this board where I understand what's going on. RB, what's up, dude? Always great seeing RB. RB says this. There is only one man on the team right now capable of actually playing the actual 0 tech knows a 3-4 needs. That man is supposedly a captain, but we know he won't actually do what's right for this team.
Clam.
Oh, Clam. Yeah. Let's go right here. Vegas is West with his Good Us Too. It's hilarious. Me, I'm not scoot right down here. Dude said the Steelers get back to developing the draft picks like that's gonna be big.
Mm-hmm.
That is gonna be big, man. Cody, it's nice to know the rest of yins don't have a life like me. Let's go. Los dos tontos yinzers. Mike McKim says this. Time for J-Rim to rim out the bum. Let's see. No, I don't think so. Tortilla said, do we scare Shiki off? I think I
never scare Shiki off.
No, yeah, Shiki's still down there talking.
If anyone scared Shiki off, it was Cody. Just by the hamster wheel sound. No one scares me off.
Let's continue down here. Yeah, Spurs tied it up last night, beat the fuck out of OKC. There you go, Mike. OKC goes down.
That's what I thought, yeah.
See, I don't mind the Spurs. Spurs are a team that I never really had a problem with. I could root for the Spurs. Tyrone says, I hope Spurs win in 7. What it do, fam? Always great seeing Jamal in the house. Oklahoma Chicken Thunder. Tortilla is saying. Vegas says this OKC built their team through the draft, and they still have hella picks in the near future. They will be battling Wemby in the Spurs for the next decade. Let's go here. Somber says, I'm rooting for the Toon Squad. I'm sick of these Monstars. Let's go here. I don't care who wins it. I just don't want the Knicks to win it. It's too much fun laughing at their fans for not. Okay, you know what? I'm cool with that. Like I said, I don't have a problem with the Knicks, and I could root for the Knicks. But if that's the narrative, then that's cool. I'm cool with that too. No championships for you then. 50 years, Mike. They fall in that category with the Flyers.
Have you ever seen the Flyers win the Stanley Cup? I haven't.
Tyrone says, yeah, Vegas, I hate OKC, but respect because they did this with the draft. We got traded for SGA, so it is what it is. Let's go here to Mark Malone. Mark Malone says, love the Iron Sheik. He loved the Irons. Loved Sheiky, baby. Vegas says, the facts, the Clippers will always end up clippering. Tortilla said there's a rumor that if the Knicks win, New Jersey is going to get nuked and wiped off the map.
Damn.
Let's go right here. Tortilla, and I'm not making that up. I'm actually worried. Vegas Chic would load up that shoe and it was over. Yeah, baby. Absolutely, man. That was the good old days. That was the good old days of wrestling, Mike. That was when I was just a little kid learning what wrestling was.
Hell yeah! Like that was the time, man. Like that and the Attitude Era.
Yeah. Oh,
It was the best
absolutely.
because that time I stopped watching for a long time. Then I started getting into it right as the Attitude Era was starting to kick, like a little. I would say a year before the Attitude Era kicked off in both companies. That's when I got back into it. It was best time, best time.
And the fact that the Attitude Era ran side by side with the takeover of WCW undisputedly
Yeah,
made it the best time in pro wrestling, in my opinion, Mike. Undisputed. Just because those two things kind of intertwined with one another, and one was as big as the other. So you put
yeah.
both of them, that's why WWE blew up. Let's get back at it, though. Shiki, my man, we thank you so much again as I'm passing the super
Yes.
chat. I do want to at least thank him again as well. Thanks, all Shiki, my man, for show. Let's go right here. Somber says, bro has made 400 million. Charlie Batch is an idiot, right? This is all Aaron Rodgers has been thinking about is how to make more money. Come on, what a dumb of all the things we've heard this offseason, Mike. That, and again, I love Charlie. Don't get me wrong, I love Charlie Batch, of course, from right here in Pittsburgh. But Mike, that was one that you kind of weren't putting too much. Yeah, good.
No, because like when he said that, like, seriously, he's worried about that extra couple $1,000,000. You remember he said $30 million. Last time I checked, Aaron Rodgers' contract is not $30 million.
Yeah, no. Let's go to Vegas. He says that's why I say he's coming back next year once he sees how much the team has win. I'm just wondering how, I mean, the thing is he's not getting any younger. How much more can he have in the tank? I mean, at the end of the day, if he plays next year, he's going to be 44 at some point through the season. He's going to turn 43 in December this year. And if he played next year, it's going to put him at 44 during that season. So, I mean, you're starting to really, get close to 50 at the end of the day. So it just makes you wonder, what does the dude have? Will we see that? I don't think so. I think he's ready to wrap it up after this one, Mike. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's done after this year.
I would agree.
Ayahuasca Express is riding off into the sunset.
Yeah. Let's go right here. I agree. Tortilla. He says this. I hope at that point, Khan and McCarthy are ready to move on. Mark Malone, going to be night and day difference from Busters.
Busters.
There we go. Vegas says the O scored more points than the Eagles, Packers, Tampa Bay, Kansas City Chargers last year, plus many. That's interesting. And again, we should be, in my opinion, pretty improved on top of that.
Yeah. I think the problem with the Steelers offense last year wasn't consistent game in, game out.
Yeah.
And we would have really good performances, then bad performances. Good performance, bad performance.
And that's the groundwork for a 500 season. So we technically overachieved a little bit in a sense, because that's, if there's no consistency, you win, you lose, you win, you lose. You usually end out right around 500 somewhere. So again, we were a little bit beyond that. Hopefully this could put us a little bit ahead of the curve with what we have now moving forward. With the improvements that we made. Tortilla, he says this, Mike. He says Lazard was nice in 2024. Somber says the players are playing where they're comfortable. What a concept, right? Imagine putting people in their position, how much better they might play. Vegas, who would have thought? Somber. Let's go down here a little bit, Mo. Right here. Right there. Right over here. Right here? No, yeah, right there. Vegas, has anyone heard anything about the Roman Wilson? Anybody heard anything about Roman? I know that he's up for that number 3 spot. He's up against a rookie, so it's whoever wins the battle of Roman and the rookie. That's going to be your number 3 wide receiver. So be fair, they're definitely paying attention to that. Mark Malone, I think Roman and Weegan are going to be good at 4 and 5. Again, Weegan's another name I keep forgetting. So
right now, I think I think they're just looking at him more as a returner to start off with.
Yeah.
And
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I just want to know, how many receivers are they going to keep, man? There's at least 6 once you factor in Weegan, and then drafting Bernard. I think we're at 6 receivers, and normally we go in with 5.
Yeah, I mean 5, 6 is typical, I think. So again, we'll see how this plays out. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4 should be etched in stone right now, Mike. Listen, if Roman Wilson falls out of that, I don't even know what to say about him at this point. Again, I don't even understand. I don't even know if I even begin to understand what the hell's going on with him. So again, I hope he does well. I'd like to see him have a breakthrough, Mike, especially in his third year.
Yeah.
Guy really, come on, didn't have the greatest chances. So let's go right here to Tortilla. Tortilla says number 14 gives our players temporary superpowers. They all seem to go after that number 14. It's like the number 23 when I was a kid. You know what it was when I was a kid? Sports number 12. 12 was really every kid wanted the number 12.
12 in where I grew up to, like 7.
Seven.
7 was a good one.
We didn't really have the single digits when I was a kid. Like we played, like we just we didn't have single digits.
Yeah.
I think it started at 10 and went all the way up. Steel Loyal says the chiseled god is going to ball. The chiseled god is going to ball. Somber says that's nothing but good news. Scoot down here a little bit. Tortilla says this. Tortilla Jackson, my man, says this about Roman. Roman is a good player when he knows what's going on. He has a head start this year for once in his NFL career. Mike, do you think that Roman's going to do you think it's going to look a lot like last year with Roman, or do you think that we're going to see some improvement? He's going to be more of an impact player. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the question. It's what he's capable of doing, because I think Coach McCarthy's going to give him the opportunities.
Dude, like if this offense functions the way we think it can function, like it should be not like designed for him to thrive, but you know what I mean, like designed for him to thrive, because where he's going to be in the depth chart, where he's going to be lining up, where are you going to put your attention to? Are you going to be focusing on little number 14 out there when you got all these Greek gods running around outside of him? No. Like he should be able to thrive in this offense.
That's what I'm saying.
Like if he can find the soft spots in those zones, if he can beat someone one-on-one, he should be getting the ball a lot, just based on like how teams are going to design their defense to cover all these guys. You know, if we're running 3-4 wide receivers out there in different times and he's out there, he should be able to find himself an opening in a zone. He should be able to beat a lesser inside corner, because he figured the number one inside corner should be going on to someone like Jeremy. Like he should be able to find spots to thrive when his number's called. Like I'm not looking for 800-900 yards out of this guy, but we get 400 to 500 yards out of him. I think that'd be a very good productive year for him in his role. Probably won't live up to his draft potential, but he can find a role and thrive in this offense and have a decent little career in the NFL.
I agree, Mike, and I think that's all we're asking for. Again, if he could, kind of go in under the radar, find the soft spot, make some plays for himself, and as you said, get 350, 400 yards, maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns. I think that's a good season for somebody like Roman Wilson. And you know what? I don't think that could be too difficult. Again, I don't know what we're missing. I just don't know what it is that we're not seeing. But again, new coach system, new coaches, new coordinators. This should be answered for us at some point this season. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Let's continue right here on the board. Let's go to Roman Wilson, who's going to show promise this year, given a real chance. Dude says this. I hope you're right. Also, Mark Malone, let's see. He says this. He says, Mike, it looks like fucking Roman can play to me. I don't know what he was fucking up with last year. That's what I'm saying. There's no definitive answer on this. Some people say this, some people say that, but at the end of the day, I don't know what to even believe. Let's go here to Somber. Hopefully, his time with the route god, I'm sorry, proves fruitful. Absolutely, Mike, and that's another thing. He's been working his ass off. There's no two ways about it. At this point, maybe he just has fucking cooties. I don't know what the issue is.
Right?
What more can you?
Yeah.
What more can you do for the guy? I just don't know. I don't know.
You know how to like coaching staffs. They all have their own doghouse. When you get into it, it's hard to get out of it. And slate is wiped clean, so hopefully, he does not get into the Mike McCarthy doghouse. We don't know. He might not have been in the Aaron Rodgers doghouse. He could have been in the Arthur Smith doghouse. He could have been in the Mike Tomlin doghouse, and just was not utilized because they weren't liking what they were seeing from him. So it's his time now. He needs to take this opportunity and run with it.
Let's go right here to Tortilla, my man, says this. Roman just needed someone like McCarthy to come in and know what to do with him. And I listen, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Mark Malone, damn, that's a lot of guys.
titled Derpy Sex Tape.
You know what? I was going right along the same line. You beat me to the punch. I got to give you kudos, Mike. You were quick on a draw there. Let's go to Vegas. Vegas says put AB in right now while he is in jail, so he can't show up and cause a scene whenever he isn't inducted due to his off the field actions. Poor guy. I mean, I'm not poor guy. Everything he's done to himself. But the talent of the guy is just. You wish that you could appreciate that a little bit more, but that's always going to be cloudy now because of everything else. Unfortunately. Let's go here to my man Steelers Cheeky Baby in the house. He says this: does anyone see Howard or Aller in training? I didn't see clips. What I'm hearing, Cheeky, is this. I'm just kind of going off the quotes. I'm not at OTAs. I don't see this. This Will Howard wired the right way. The Steelers believe that's what's showing in the OTAs last week. And Aller, guys, was all over the place, was the two things. However, before you take that and run with it, 2 weeks ago, Aller was the one that had the arm strength that's more poised to be an NFL quarterback, and Will Howard had this issue. So again, I just can't, Mike. I can't invest too much time into worrying about these two quarterbacks right now. The big time to worry about them, I think, comes in August, whenever these two guys see at least 90% of preseason snaps. I bet you guys it's going to be at least 90% of the preseason snaps, Aller and Howard. It's going to be a lot of fun. Don't work yourself up too much just yet because there's really not much to go off of. Let's see these guys play with the black, the gold, some NFL caliber defenders, Mike. Yes, and the thing is, if they do play early, yes, of course you're going to see your third round guys that ain't going to be on the teams that you're going to be playing against. But you know what? When these guys get so many reps in the preseason, by default, you're going to be seeing better players. You're going to be playing earlier in the game. You're going to be seeing starters. So again, preseason is what I keep saying when people keep asking about Aller and Will Howard, because there's really no answer right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, and like the little clips that I saw of both of them, they were the throws. You can tell everything was like going at a really slow pace.
Yeah,
where everyone was moving slow, so the arm strength really couldn't get a good look at any of them. And it was just guys making sure everyone was being where they needed to be. The ball was getting where they needed to be. Very slow stuff, nothing fast. So it was hard to tell in the clips that they released to the media how they were looking. They did not look as bad as the shit that was coming out of Cleveland.
Now you're right. Cleveland's having all kind of issues up there.
You can tell like the clips that they put out there is to show that, hey, we are bringing these guys along slow. We want to make sure they are getting the small details right. So, but there's only so much that they show to the media anyway. There's a lot of practices on the OTAs that aren't available to the media, so they could be in there live firing, looking good or looking god awful. We're only being able to see a small glimpse of it.
Let's go right here to Vegas. Vegas says, at no time did I ever think Kobe would have died before Magic Johnson.
Damn.
That's such a great point.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong. Wow. When you put it that way, huh?
I'm kind of depressed now.
Vegas also goes on to say, how many pops do you hear when you get out of bed for the first time? How many pops do you hear? Mike, that must be a question for you. I don't hear the pops yet.
My knees, my ankles, my backs, my fingers, my toes, everything pops when I wake up.
Let's go right here. Jamal says, don't forget the YouTube channel as well, guys. We have the Steeler gang in there in the chat. Great time. Absolutely, my man. We're always great to see. Always happy to see the Steeler gang. Jamal leading the way, of course, all the way from Texas. Let's go to Vegas. Vegas says, this Cody's question to me was in reference to a comment I left on a Steelers Radio Network show to their host, who always asks how we are doing and then says, that's great, us too. Let's go down here to Mark Malone. I've seen a few clips at Steelers Chic. Somber. Just a wee whippersnapper. A wee whippersnapper. Tortilla Brunson versus Wembley would be little David versus Goliath. Tortilla says Brunson is a little 5'10" point guard on the Knicks. Vegas goes on to say women wrestlers look terrible when I was a kid. Thankfully, Vince is a creep and got some hotter ones. You're damn right. The fabulous Moolah, Mae Young. I mean, these are what we were thrown into. I like Trish Stratus. Whatever.
Now they're all hot and can wrestle.
Yeah, I know.
It's like the perfect blend.
Tori Wilson was hot. Trish Stratus was hot. You know what? Even ugly ass Lita was hot.
Like, Lita was my favorite. For some, I liked her more than the others.
And it was because she could. I agree, and I don't know what it was.
Actually, because she could, like, watching her do like the swantons, like she actually could wrestle. She wasn't just a pretty face.
And she wasn't that pretty of a face, so it came down to wrestling a lot of times with Lita. Let's do scoot along here though a little bit. I couldn't agree with you more, Vegas. Yes, thank you for being a creep and a pig, Vince McMahon. We all thank you for that. Let's go down here to Mark Malone. He says, "I bet Weegan finds his way on offense somehow." Mark Malone, I think they keep I think they keep 6 as well. I don't know how they can't.
Yeah.
I don't know how they can.
Excuse me, you literally have to at this point. The way the roster constructed, if they're going to go more offense, more pass heavy, give me some more weapons out there.
Let's go here, Vegas. I hope you're right, Mark. Kind of turned into a young Welker. Mark Malone, he says, I liked 8. Vegas, I want Eli to be a wide receiver that gets a carry every so often. Vegas, I can't help but think Mike is going to have an actual game plan week to week, and it's not just going to seem like he is just looking at a play sheet and saying, let's go with this. I hope you're right. I'm getting a vibe too. Let's go to Tortilla. Steelers hate Michigan. Steelers hate Michigan is what is what Tortilla is saying on the board. Somber says apparently Arthur Smith offenses was overly complicated. Mix that with Roman not running a real offense in college. It makes sense. It really, Mike, it really did. It felt like Arthur Smith. We were trying to. It was something was being forced there. It almost felt like you were trying to shove that round peg into the square hole with Arthur Smith trying to get anything with this offense going. Nothing seemed good to me.
The play sequences never felt like they should have followed each other.
You're right.
Like every once in a while, there would be a handful of games where you would have a handful of drives where this play, then it would set up this play, then it would set up that play. Then it was like the random, we're going to run this play, we're going to run that play. Why? Nothing set it up.
Right.
And then you go like 4 or 5 games like that. Then you have a game where he's calling plays and he's calling a play in the third quarter that was set up in the first quarter that hit for a long gain. You're like, why can't you do this every fucking game? Now with Mike McCarthy and Angelico, they come from offenses where things set up everything game in, game out. Like you do something in week 4, play 7 that sets something up in week 12, third play of the game, because teams know you're going to key in on that and it works, where there's none of that with Arthur Smith.
You know, I agree. I couldn't agree more, Mike. It just seemed like, you ever see that thing? It was like that meme where the guy, that stick man, is poking the thing. It's like, come on, do something. That's just the way it felt to me.
Yeah, that's what it felt.
It just felt like it was forced. There was nothing that felt natural. Again, the vibes I'm getting, Mike, is things are going to change. I love this, so we will see. Let's get back here to Steel Loyal. Finally, we put in some respect on Roman. Hey, baby, I'm all about Roman. If Roman could come out and do what he could do, baby, I'm all for it. Vegas Muth was in the doghouse after he dropped that 50-yard dot. If I got to hear about that pass one more time, right? For a guy that totally got thrown in the doghouse for one drop ball, how often have you seen that in your life? So again, it makes me wonder what the hell was the issue with Muth at the end of the day, Mike? I don't know. He's been consistent.
There were games last year where he was targeted heavy, then there would go weeks with nothing.
Yeah,
and I think that all goes back to Arthur Smith, and I think Arthur Smith wanted to showcase Jonnu Smith more than
which is fine. However, Jonnu Smith yielded nothing.
Exactly.
His offense, his production was nil. So I mean, if he was doing something, this was an 18 week progression. Yeah. At some point, you got to say, okay, this cat just isn't doing it. He's built like a wide receiver, but he moves like a tackle, for crying out loud. There was just never anything, Mike, I loved about Jonnu Smith. You wanted to. You heard we got a Pro Bowler coming to Pittsburgh. Yep. How can you not like that? So again, that was a colossal failure. But he liked Coach Smith, and that was another thing with me, Mike. Everything that came back to, he played with Coach Arthur Smith. He liked Arthur. Listen, I don't want to have anything else to do with Arthur Smith the rest of my life, and I didn't want to have anything to do with Arthur Smith last year, to be honest with you. Mike, I think that he was a disaster from the get-go. I think we were giving him a chance, obviously, to try to make something happen. We brought him in, trying to fix what Matt Canada had effed up, but at the end of the day, anybody that was on that, well, he played under Arthur Smith, and I'm over that. That was years ago. That was the past. It was, again, the sun shines on a dog's ass someday. That Tennessee thing down there, it's no more. No. The only thing that still exists out of that Tennessee success was it's obviously Derrick Henry. The coach is having a terrible time in New England as of late. Everything else that was involved in that Tennessee team is gone. I'm through. Yeah. God, don't give me no more Arthur Smith. Get it the fuck out of here.
Luckily, thankfully, we no longer have to deal with him.
Thank God. Thank God.
That random generated Madden coach face.
Yeah, remember that 2 years ago when we were getting ready to hire him, Mike? You said he looked like the generic head coach face on a player on Madden. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that generic face.
He did too. Yeah, I was like, this is our offensive coordinator.
Let's go to Tortilla. Tortilla says this: his new song about sauce is in his cup should have him out of the Hall of Fame, but in like 10 years, let him in. Who's that, Antonio?
Yeah, got to be AB.
Let's go to Vegas. Somber. That sucks. Hopefully those days are over for him. Mark Malone. I'm hearing Magnum is really showing off that gun too. Somber says this. Somber says, well, we'll see how it looks with the pads on. Exactly. There's nothing else we could really say about the young quarterbacks at this point, Mike. We could argue till we're blue in the face. But at the end of the day, nothing will be solved. We got to see these kids play.
Yep. That's when it matters most.
Absolutely. Let's go right here to Cody. Mike's wearing a pad.
Hi, Cody.
Let's go down. Somber says, Cody figured out how to send gifts. I was wondering what the hell is going on. I'm seeing all these different pictures bouncing around on my screen.
Oh my God. Like I don't have that part up on my screen. I'm gonna have to go back and see what Cody's doing.
There's little monsters and little people. I don't know what the hell Cody's doing. Let's go here to Jamal. Gang in this thing. That's right, baby. Always, all day, every day in the house. Always great with my man Jamal. Somber, prepared to get gifts thrown at you like a cheap stripper.
Hey, make it hail, boys. Make it hail.
Let's check out Mark Malone. Mark Malone says this. What does Mark Malone say? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Miss Elizabeth. That was where it was at when we were a kid. Miss Elizabeth was the chick. Of course, she was with Macho Man. And then remember, she started messing around with Hulk and then ended up being a thing. Man, forget about it. Vegas says she was basically the only one, Mark. And she definitely didn't wrestle. She definitely did not wrestle. Let me go down a little bit further. I see another classic right in here, Mike. I'm seeing Don't Drink That. Corey Beavers, of course, from Don't Drink That right here on YouTube. Go check out Corey if you're into conspiracy theories. He's right now going over the alien files that are being released. Lots of cool stuff over there. Corey's show. Go check him out at Don't Drink That right here on YouTube. Corey goes on and says, hey, fellas, sorry to be late. My internet would not upload my video for today. I hope Rojo shows out in the first 5 weeks so we can trade him for a high pick while the rookie gets the rhythm. Mark Malone, I thought the running game would have been better with Smith. I do want to say what's up to Patricia. Welcome to the show. Patricia says this. Do you think the Steelers have the hardest schedule? I do not. Matter of fact, I think they have a relatively easy schedule considering that. Let me break it down to you like this. Patricia, they have the AFC South, which means they play the 4 teams from the AFC South, which is arguably the worst division in the AFC. And then they play the NFC South, which, like their AFC counterpart, are the weakest division in the NFC. So, yes, we're playing the better teams from them divisions. However, they're not really great divisions. So that's 8 games right there. And then you're playing your division teams. That takes up to 14 games. You know the Ravens, you know the Bengals, you know the Browns. So again, there's not much you're going to do about that. We're going to get those 6 games anyway. So with that being said, you have the Tennessee Titans in there. You have the Indianapolis Colts in there. You have the Saints in there. You have the Panthers in there. Again, Mike, some of those teams that I just mentioned at the end are a little improved. But again, I don't think that these teams are going to be a problem for us. Yes, Houston's going to be a good game. Absolutely. No two ways about it. Absolutely, that's going to be a tough game. And now you're talking about the other 3 first-place finishes. Your AFC East, your AFC West, and your NFC oddball division. First-place teams. New England. I'm not afraid of New England, Mike. I'm just not.
Me either.
This team didn't belong in that Super Bowl last year. I'm not afraid of New England. Denver. I'm not afraid of Denver. They're good. Absolutely. And then at the end of the day, the Eagles, Mike, that might be a tough game, of course. I don't think we've ever won in Philadelphia, at least since the Civil War ended. But, so I don't think that it's the hardest schedule, to answer your question. I think that it's a tough schedule. I think that second half gets really difficult, as it has the past 3 years. But at the end of the day, I don't think that it's I don't necessarily think it's the hardest schedule. I think it's a doable schedule. And I think if this team wants to win 11, 12 games, I think that it's in the cards. At the end of the day, I think it could be a lot tougher. That's I'm going to leave it right there, because again, you can have a tougher NFC conference that you're playing. You could be playing, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Skins, anybody, even the AFC West with the Rams, the Niners, the Seahawks. So I mean, you could be playing totally a harder schedule. There's no two ways about it. Is it going to be tough? Yes. Will it be easy? No, but it never is. So at the end of the day, there are areas of the schedule that I think is going to be extremely tough. But Mike, I think this is doable. And again, if you're going to put a schedule together after winning first place and getting the first place schedule, the South divisions are ideal.
Yep.
Because that kind of neutralizes a little bit, and it doesn't give you over the top too much competition, top end competition. So that's my opinion. The hardest schedule, no. Tough, yeah. Mike.
Yeah, I'm not worried about our schedule. I think it'll be fine. I think we match up well against a lot of these teams. And like you said, Ryan, going up against the South is going to be so much easier.
Absolutely.
I'm all for that, especially the NFC South.
Mike, could you imagine playing the 49ers, the Seahawks who just won the Super Bowl, the Matthew Stafford and the Rams? See, this is what I'm saying. It could be a lot more difficult if that be the way the ball bounced. However, this is the way. I think this is, again, totally doable. Totally doable. Let's just go scoot right along, guys. I do want to say welcome and thank you for the that's Patrick. I'm sorry. I called you Patricia. I apologize, Patrick.
Wow.
I know. What a dick, huh?
You're fucking terrible at names anyway.
It's not because I'm a dick. It's because I'm not that smart. So just roll with that. Everybody will be fine. That's generally my defense. Let's continue on right here, though, to Tyrone. He says, got busy as fuck. I'm about to drive. Great show. We thank you, as always, my friend.
Thanks, Tyrone.
You stay safe out there. We'll get that contract. We will get our extension, bro. Don't you worry about it. Always great seeing Tyrone, my man. Stay safe. Enjoy your holiday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Vegas says the 50-yard dot took life off of Aaron's arm. Maybe that's what it was. Mike. Let's go here to Ty. Great show, you bastards. Thank you, my friend. Mark Malone. Yeah, Vegas, sometimes they'd show her getting her skirt blown up or something, though, and she'd be wearing thigh high and sexy panty. Wait, who's this?
This is Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah. I like Miss Elizabeth. And you know what I like, though, when we were kids? I really like Jake the Snake Roberts. Remember he'd always put that snake on everybody?
Oh, yeah.
That was my favorite. Best. That was my favorite. And then that time Earthquake killed the snake. Remember that?
Yeah.
I cried. He put it in a bag, and he kept Earthquake smashing it with his ass. You remember that?
Yep. That shit was great.
I think it was Lucifer, and then he got a new snake, and it was Damien. I think was how that went, or vice versa. Let's continue on right here. Vegas says this. Johnny had one good play, and it was a run, which is not good if you're a tight end. It's like Lima Swede's best play being a block at wide receiver. I agree. Let's go continue to Sean. Sean Chandler, what's up? Great seeing Sean on the board. He says, all this talking about Steelers, this and Steelers player that let just wait for training camp, and then we will see. Let's go, Steeler Nation. Stand up. Let's go. That's right, big dog. It won't be long now. Steel Loyal says, Sean, news flash, but this is a Steeler podcast. It's all good. It's all good, man. Let's go right here. I'm seeing Jeremy. What's up, Jeremy Olson? Always great seeing Jeremy back on the board. Jeremy says this. It's only popping up. It's not showing me whatever the emojis are. I apologize on my screen, so I don't know what that says. Second-year signal caller Will Howard is slated to be the primary backup quarterback 2 for the Pittsburgh Steelers entering the 2026 season. And listen, I'm okay with that. I said it earlier in the show. I'm okay with Mason Rudolph being gone. I just am. Because at this point, people keep calling him a safety outlet. You know, he knows at the end of the day, he came in last year and he didn't win the game and he got called on. Why not go with the younger player and see what they got and get them more acclimated to play football and be part of the team moving down? In the past, yes, Mason served his purpose. Yes, he stepped in and won 3 big games, Mike, about 3-4 seasons ago to help the Steelers get into the playoffs. You know, he's another one, again, take advantage of this change.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be sitting 2-3 years down the road going, oh, man, I wish we would have made this change back then when we were really changing everything. Now I don't want to ruffle any feathers. Yeah. Now's the time. Ruffle some feathers. If you think that Mason's got to go, get rid of him. You have all these young quarterbacks. That's, that's the future of the league, young quarterbacks. So Mason, Mike, he was serviceable. Yes, he was a good backup. Yes, he stepped in and did things sometimes when you needed him. But I'm not married to Mason Rudolph at all. At all.
Neither am I. If he's here, cool. If not, that's cool too.
Absolutely. Let's see where we at right here. Mike Vegas says this. Hopefully Cleveland's quarterbacks get worse when the real games start, if that's even possible. Tyrone says, yes, I like the schedule. I do too. I think our schedule is very, very doable for us. Anybody can beat anybody, maybe? Vegas says they shot me in Denver. They shot me in Denver. Who was that? Whose ass got shot in Denver?
Joey Porter.
And I literally mean whose ass got shot in Denver. Steel Loyal says, I bet the Eagles. I want to beat the Eagles so bad. I mean, if we could beat the Eagles, boy, it would be such a morale boost for this team, Mike. If we could go to Philadelphia and get that win amongst other wins, that could certainly be a big boost for this team, Mike.
Be huge. Monumental.
Mike says, let's go here to Corey. Don't drink that. I didn't like our schedule without AR, I have to admit, but I was okay with the idea of being in a better position in 2027 for a top QB. But the AR here, I'm seeing 11. I am too. I'm thinking it would be a failure, Mike, if they don't hit 11 wins.
Yeah, based off of last year's success, last year's roster, and then you compare it to this year's roster. This year's roster is so much better than last year. So it got to win 11.
Vegas 10-24-65 was the last time we beat the Eagles in Philadelphia. And you know what? I like this because I don't like it, but I'm going to tell you why I like this. Because, we talk about something, we talk about a player, and, Cody or Tyrone, they'll be like, oh, man, I don't know. That was years before my time. See, I like this statistic because this is years before my time, Mike.
Yeah.
This is like 13 years before my time. And I never get to get involved in that conversation where sometimes, the viewers do, but we're usually the older people in the conversation.
Know, right?
So I'm enjoying that statistic, Vegas. You tell me about that a little bit more, would you? I'd like to hear more about that last win in Philadelphia. Let's go here to Patrick. Okay, Patrick says it's all good. I totally mistake, my man. I do apologize for that. Patrick Olson. Glad to have you here. Tyrone says, breaking news, I'm buying a weed cart tomorrow. I'm back. Hey, baby, you got to do what you got to do. Get it. That's right. You're back. Because he was debating on whether he should or not.
Yeah, get back. I'm all for it.
Yeah, you got to keep, yeah, man. Let's go here. Steel Loyal said, oh, shit, tortilla. Tyrone about to buy his dog a cheeseburger. Vegas says, Ty is a weed cart, like a kiosk at the mall. Let's go here to Vegas. Vegas says, it really bit Macho Man. That was crazy. I don't care. I'm not selling the show that much. Somber says this. Mike Johnu had a nice catch up the seam and then never saw that again. Same with Calvin Austin, the third touchdown playing the Jets game. Never saw that again. Still loyal until week 18. And Vegas finally says this, Mike, I don't remember too much about that game. I was 8. Mike, why don't you remind everybody about the website?
The 2dumyinzers.com. Check it out, everyone. Got your Steelers news over there. We got all of Ryan and I social media links over there, so check that out. Got the merch store if that's your thing as well. All at the 2dumyinzers.com. Check it out, everyone. If you could do me a favor, if you're on the Twitter, if you like the Twitter, go check out the Thunder 6969. He's a laugh riot, everyone.
What?
Well,
I just didn't hear what the last thing you said was.
Yeah, I said check out the Thunder.
Right after that, the last thing you said, what was the last
He's a
thing?
laugh riot. Check him out.
He's a laugh riot. Gotcha.
Laugh riot.
Wait, I've never heard anybody say it like that, but there
He's
you go.
He's a laugh riot, man. I'm having Vanilla Thunder is having a lot of fun over on Twitter.
He's a laugh riot, everybody. Go check him out.
If Mike is too bland for you, check out Vanilla Thunder.
There you go, everybody. If Mike is too bland for you, and I bet you he is. Just kidding.
I am. I'm bland like white people chicken.
Let's go here. Vegas is -8. Tyrone says this. I'm coming out of retirement. Took 2 years off smoking, but I'm officially back tomorrow. Here's the thing. I do it to take the edge off, man. You know what I mean? Get off of work, hit your shit. It's legal. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different time. Treat yourself. Help your own sanity. Get your vibe where you want it to be. That's all. Let's get back on the board right here to Steel Loyal. Just don't take a huge first hit. Yeah, that huge first hit's going to kill you. You got to take it easy on that first hit. The Somber, he says 0. Your first blinker. Fuck it. Vegas says, did you set up your account at the Closet Dispensary yet, Ty? Guys, let's talk about, Mike, this website a little bit. Yes, go check it out. Mike does a lot of great work over there. Lots of cool stuff. Go check out the website at www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. Sean Chandler is saying, question, how do you feel about the hiring of Patrick Graham? I like him better than the last guy so far. I'll just put it to you that way. I like him better than Terrell Austin so far. Now, Sean, with that being said, one would have to say to themselves, who was the defensive coordinator on the worst team in the league last year? Oh, wait. It was Patrick Graham. So, again, I'm hopeful. I'm not placing any money on the guy just yet. I want to like him. I want him to change things. I want him to fix things. So, at the end of the day, the jury is still out on that. Sean, I want it to be better than it was. Yeah. I don't know that it's not going to be, and I don't know that it is going to be. So at this point, I'm hopeful. I'm hearing a lot of good things. The fact that he's coming in and the guys are really buying into him and buying into his change of the way he wants to do things, I'm all for that. But at the end of the day, I can't give an opinion on that, Mike, because again, I do know that he was the defensive coordinator on the worst team in the NFL last year. So I always have to keep that in the back of my mind with that particular question, Sean.
Yeah, I'm excited for him just because what he was able to do with some of those lowest paid defenses. And you look at some of their numbers, they're good, but what can he do with what we have? Right. Like, based on what he did with some of those shitty players to get where they were, the sky should be the limit for this defense.
It should be, in theory. However, this is why they step out between the lines and do what they do. Again, Mike, as of right now, I do like him better than Terrell Austin. But there's going to be a lot of things that happen in the future that's going to make me either confirm or, regret making that statement. So let's go on just a little bit further here. Tyrone laughed my ass off. Somber trying to get me gone. Still Loyal says this. He says, yet the Raiders were higher ranked than us. That's the thing at the end of the day. Were the Raiders ranked higher than the Steelers were on defense, Mike?
It all depends on what metric we're looking at.
I'm not doubting it, but as I'm hearing it, I'm just like kind of crunching my eyes. Thinking, oh my God, is that real? Is that true? Because we have a defense. We have good guys. What did the Raiders got?
Yeah, yards per game. They were 13th in the league. We were 28th.
But listen to this as well. We also faced the Bengals twice, who Jamar Chase obviously. I don't know. I guess I'm happy for right now. Again, we will see. To me, Mike, it seems like that comes down to like matchups and schedules and things like it just does. It just does. What kind of offense did they face in Kansas City? I mean, Kansas City was garbage last year. Even Denver, being as good as they were, Mike, they didn't have a great offense. And then the Chargers certainly were unimpressive in that division as well. But again, I don't know. Again, I right now I like them better than Terrell Austin. That could change. Let's go to Tortilla. Tortilla says, "Fuck it, we ball." Vegas says, Ty, get you one of those 6-inch bongs. Is that 6 foot bong? And make a video when you use it. Steel Loyal, yes. Somber, our scheme, and I believe you. I did not believe you. It sounded crazy to me at the moment. Let's go right here to Somber. Our scheme just sucked. LOL. Ty, Vegas. I'm gonna start off with carts to get used to being high again. Corey, of course, from Don't Drink That. That just goes to show rank doesn't mean shit. That better ranked defense didn't get them into the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. They were the worst team in the league. So, I mean, it doesn't matter how good their defense was, right? They were literally the worst team in the league. And they didn't show up in the game-changing moments in our defense. Steel Loyal says, this Tomlin scheme is built on your guy beating the other guy. No disguises, nothing, just straightforward. And that's good if you have dominant people at every position, but obviously that wasn't the case. Mike, let's get into some trivia time. And I'm not going to disappoint you because again, today is Memorial Day, Mike. So we're going to stick with a military type football trivia question. So put on your thinking cap, Mike. Put on your helmet, if you will, your battle helmet. Everybody, put on your battle helmets as well, guys. As we get ready for the question of the day, here we go. Question of the day. Memorial Day style. Vegas says the answer is 43. Damn it, Vegas got it. I got to find a new question. Just kidding. It's not 43. Here we go, guys. Question of the day is this. Rocky Bleier was drafted, Mike, twice in the same year, 1968. Once to the Steelers, the other to the Army. Of course, when he came back from the Army in his stint in Vietnam, Mike, he wore the number 20. My question of the day is, what number was Rocky Bleier originally before he went off to Vietnam? I'm going to give you a hint and tell you it wasn't 20. Take a minute to think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week, right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30, 3 o'clock p.m. every day, right here on the tube. 34, Tortilla is saying on the board. He stuck with this 34. He guessed it early, Mike, and he's sticking with 34. Again, what was Rocky Bleier's number prior to going off to Vietnam, Mike? He got shot in one leg, grenade shrapnel in his other leg, still came back to be a part of the great Super Bowl dynasty run with the Steelers. Rocky Bleier, what number did he wear before he went off and got the Purple Heart in the Vietnam War, Mike? Take a moment to think it over. Everybody on the board as well, take a moment. If you have a guess, if you want to just take a guess. Steel Loyal saying 27, Vegas 44, Sean is saying 32, Ty is saying 70, Tortilla, of course, with Richard Mendenhall. How can it not be a question of the day without that answer? Steve, and I do want to say what's up to Steve. Steve, I don't know if that's your Steve or not, but he's saying 26 on the board. Throw up your answers, guys. A lot of different answers. If you have them, guests, if you have them, throw them up on the board. I'm looking for Rocky Bleier's original number for the Steelers. Mike, what is your thought process?
I just know he played fullback, or running back, fullback, whatever they said it back then in the day. Because I remember watching stuff and say Franco Harris was a fullback. I was so fucking confused. But I'm gonna go with, you know what? I'm backing up my boy Tortilla Jackson. I'm going 34.
34. Is this your final answer, Mike? You're saying that Rocky Bleier was 34 before he went on to play Vietnam and then came back as number 20. 34 then. Is that your final answer? I'm taking
34.
All right, let me lock you in. You were locked in on 34, guys. Give you another moment. If you have a guess, if maybe you just want to throw something up there, do it. Vegas says he had 43 pieces of shrapnel in his foot. That's right. He got shot in one leg, shrapnel in the other leg, still made it back to be an amazing piece of an amazing team here in Pittsburgh, guys. Steel Loyal 31, 32, 33, Somber 69, Somber 42, Steel Loyal. One of these got to be it. I'm going to give you a hint. The answer has been revealed. Yes, the answer has been revealed on the board. Somber is saying 0. Mark Malone, I'm putting on my German WW2 helmet.
God.
There you go. And don't forget the Italians. Like everybody usually does forget about them Italians. They let them off easy.
They snuck.
talking about, the Germans and the Nazis always getting the bad. Who the hell decided to roll with the Nazis? The Italians. Why does nobody ever talk about that?
Everyone remembers the bad things, like as they should, what the Germans and the Japanese did. But Italy, they just cruising on by. Oh, ciao! I'm on my little scooter, drinking my cappuccino, drinking my wine.
Yeah,
we
that's
weren't
what I'm
fascist.
They were just as bad as the Nazis. But anyway, beside a whole other, I'm just saying they always get the cool rap, Mike. The gangsters, we're gonna do the game. Hey, which way? But Mike, you gotta watch those Italians. That's all I'm saying.
Got my eyes on him.
Franco's Italian Army, Vegas. He says that was a joke, of course. Vegas, guys. The answer to the question of the day: what was Rocky Blyer's original number before he went off to Vietnam, got hurt, earned his Purple Heart and other medals as well, and he came back to play for the Steelers? Mike, his initial number was 26.
Oh,
so if that is your Steve on the board, I don't know if it is or it isn't. He did have the correct answer. He was the one.
Damn, well done.
Answer. So there you go, guys. 26 was his number before he went off to Vietnam, came back, and the number was already taken, Mike. When he came back, 26 was taken. Yeah. So he was made to take a new number, and it was 20 after that. So,
the 20 looks so much better on him than 26 would have.
And, exactly. I don't know.
Players, you can tell if they have like that number, like seeing 20 and 32 coming at you in the backfield, that this look perfect.
Love them, Mike. It matter how you slice it. Anybody from that 70s team, I wish I would have been a little bit younger to been able to enjoy that 70s team. Of course, born at the very, very end of that myself personally. Let's get a couple more of these messages. Send some love, Steven. Okay, is that your Steve, Mike? Steve
I don't know. I forget what Steve's handle is. It could be my brother. I'm not 100% sure.
He says send some love, Mike. So there you go. I say great job to Steve. If it is your dude, if it's not, thank you anyway, and great job. Sean Le'Veon Bell had that. That's what I say. Le'Veon Bell was 26. Rod Woodson. There were some pretty great 26s in the past for the Steelers, and I think you could throw Rocky on there, even though it was a very short time with that number. Again, Mike drafted into the NFL and into the war in the same year.
That's insane.
That is insane. What do we got here? What do we got going on? We'll be tomorrow, Mike. We'll be back at our regular time to do it all over again as OTAs back at it tomorrow, Mike. OTAs Tuesday, Thursday, Friday this week. And then next week they wrap it up with Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday OTAs. So that starts up again tomorrow. We'll be into that and so much more tomorrow. I also do want to say, Mike, it's hot. It's summer. It's Memorial Day. What better time to crack open a cold beer? And if you do, I would highly recommend grabbing yourself some Duquesne Pilsner, everybody. Duquesne Pilsner now available in 6 and 12 packs at the Eagle and also wherever cases are sold. Like the people at Duquesne Pilsner are always helpful with us in promoting our show as we are back and forth with them. We want to thank them so much. So we're asking everybody, stop by, get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner if you get thirsty for this holiday weekend. And also, maybe you don't like to drink a lot, that's fine. Swing over to their social media pages. Just hit the follow button. Keep up with what's going on with them, guys. I'm sure they'll appreciate it greatly. Go check them out, Mike. People at Duquesne Pilsner, we always have that beer on tap right here at the studio for whatever comes along, made right here in Pittsburgh. Mike, it says it on the can. Grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
I also want to say this, guys. You can check us out as well. We are also on social media. You can check us out at Facebook, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. And if you haven't had a chance yet, do hit the like button down below. Hit the like, the sub, the share, the comment. Leave a comment. It all helps us out in the algorithm, guys. Or you can go back to the social media, follow us, and keep up with what's going on with the Two Dum Yinzers on a day-to-day basis, guys. Do go check all that stuff out. Mike, your thoughts on today's show?
We need to find a way to extend JBJ.
Absolutely.
Washington, Frazier, get those three locked up, and then let's start worrying about everyone else that needs locked up. That's a really good core right there. A lot of these other guys, they're good, kind of be replaceable.
All right, I like that take, guys. Somber says this. Let me get back on the board. I don't want to cut out with too many messages on the board. I will not be able to sleep well tonight. I won't, I tell you. Vegas says everybody was Italian in the crowd those days. Everybody was Italian in the crowd those days. Steven says, send some love. Sean Le'Veon Bell did have that number. Still Loyal says it's 81 in Carolina, which when I was in Carolina, that was basically what it felt like at 8 o'clock in the morning. Wait, I think it was Carolina. You wake up and it's hot. At least here you get a cool morning and then it works into that heat. North Carolina, that heat starts on you early. Let's go to Somber. Like our free fuckers do the thing. Our likes are free. Definitely thank you. We appreciate you on that, my friend. As always, Tyrone says, pay JPJ all day. Mark Malone, the Russians were worse than any of them. Tyrone says, peace out, fam. My man, always great seeing you, Ty. You have a great rest of your Memorial Day. Somber, got the okay, for sure we got you on that, my man. Also, what do I want to say, Mike? What do I want to say? I want to say we'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to get into all this stuff, the OTAs, all of our Steelers scoop, and so much more. But don't forget, in the meantime, the Pittsburgh Pirates, Mike, they're playing right now. Hopefully they can get a nice get a win to start the series against the Cubs on a 4-game series to go through this week. It all fits into this summer. It's, Mike, the unofficial start of summer right now. You got the Pirates playing 4-game sets against the Cubs at home. You got Memorial Day. You got swimming pools opening up. You got all kind of stuff, Mike. And again, what does that tell you? We're just
training camp
that much closer to training camp. That's all that means, baby. That's right. Corey says this. I'm going to head out of here, guys. New videos drop in a half hour. Go check Corey out. Hope you enjoy. Corey does have all the awesome conspiracy theory stuff going on over Don't Drink That. Go check him out right here on YouTube. I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to all the newcomers, new names, everybody on the board. We appreciate you all, guys. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you, everybody on the board. Like, the board keeps the show interesting as can be, as always, as they are a big part of this show. Again, we wouldn't do it without them. They are the bloodline, lifeblood of the show. I'm sorry. And we do appreciate you guys very, 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 very much. And everybody at home, maybe you're watching on TV, maybe you're at the gym, maybe you're in the car, maybe you're at work on the toilet watching on a snuck break, perhaps. We thank you too. No matter where you are, we thank you so much. Dude says bottom of the 7th, 1-1. Thank you. I appreciate you, because that is exactly where I was going. As soon as I tapped out, I was going to be going right over to see how my buckos were doing. Ronald, good day. My best wishes and thoughts to all my military brothers and sisters. I echo that, everybody. Again, I hope everybody has a great Memorial Day. Maybe seeing some family, maybe just sit back having a few drinks at the end of the day. Again, getting this summer started off, Mike. Unofficially, though. It's not
unofficial
summer just yet. It feels like it, but it's not. So
it's getting hot.
It's getting hot in here.
Hot in here.
I do believe that is everything today, unless I'm forgetting anything, Mike. Anything that you can think of that I'm forgetting?
No, man, this was a fun show, man. Hope to see you all back here tomorrow.
We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again. All Steeler talk, all year round. Like, it just doesn't end. Right here on the Two Dum Yinzers. We'll be back tomorrow for big episode 972 as we are inching our way to that big 1,000 show mark. Mark Malone says we won't F with Frazier until this time next year. Guys, thank you so much for everybody here at the show. I want everybody to have a great Memorial Day. Again, big shout out to everybody that's military and everything else, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Enjoy your Memorial Day. Stay cool. And for Mike, myself, Finch, Derpy, RB Chop, and the Two Dum Yinzers, have a great one. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.